I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We'll call meeting to order. Roll call.
Mayor Seeley.
Here.
Sarah Antonsen. Here. Pat Bickett.
Here.
Kayla Bullis. Here. Will Rolke.
Here.
Larry Rohr.
Here.
Mike Tiedemann.
I'm here. Right, don't have the agenda in front of me, but I believe it's agenda next.
Yes.
I'll entertain a motion to adopt the agenda as written. So moved. Second. Motion is second to adopt the agenda. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anybody opposed? Motion carries. The agenda has been adopted.
So the next is just new business and it's just to start the budget review.
New business. All right, so welcome to 2025 into 2027 budget cycle. Preliminary budget review. So we'll conduct 3 straight meetings: first reading, second reading, adoption, and then signature right before the new year, correct?
So the
You got the
first
dates.
reading will be November 3rd.
Okay.
Hopefully. And if we can't come up with this, solid, then we would need to call another special meeting. But I'm hoping between today and making changes and we can knock it out and have the first reading on November 3rd.
Yeah.
The second
Seriously.
reading on the 17th.
Yeah, because I'm looking at the proposed, first reading November 3rd, second reading November 17th, adopted on the 17th, published on the 26th of November 2025, and then it'll be effective on 1st of January 2026.
Yep.
All right.
Okay, so I would like to just have this as like a working meeting. Everyone just question whatever. I'm gonna just hit the highlights of everything. So we do have extra printed packets if anyone wants one. So starting, the ordinance here is just a summary of all of the ordinance here is just a summary of the general fund. Jason had a good idea to compare. So I just thought I'd show it to you real quick here. So this is comparing 26 to 25 and then the difference between. So legislative is the council and mayor, and then the contingency is the 30,000. Executive, sorry, is the mayor, city administrator, finance, city attorney, and government buildings. And so just as a summary, we're increasing that by $63,636. Public safety, which is police and fire, that is increasing by $28,154. Highways and streets and mosquito control is decreasing by $200,758. Culture and recreation, which is park, swimming pool, subsidies, and libraries, is decreasing by $98,840. Economic development and assistance, which is planning and zoning, is decreasing by $3,520. So overall, comparing the two budgets from 25 to 26, we are decreasing it by $211,328. Just a quick summary.
Why the big jump on the legislature, the council?
Let's jump into it. So under other professional services, there is a $20,000 strategic initiative planning, which is an estimate of $20,000.
So Mike, this was something that, I had talked to Eli a little bit about it, but, I think one of the things that I'm starting to grasp over this first month being on staff is I think there's some anticipated costs that will come with us doing some different types of, planning, strategic housing, maybe some things to do with grant assistance, some of that stuff.
Yeah.
And we've never had a line item for anything like that in the past. With the daycare initiative, there are other major initiatives. I just think it's something we should build in, so we know we have that capacity if we need it. We may not use any or all of that, but
Yeah.
I didn't want to have to wait till 2027 budget cycle to have that starting conversation.
Okay, that makes sense.
So out of the council budget, that was probably the only like huge change. We did a column of just the difference between 25 and 26. And it looks like,
Sure.
you know, everything pretty much increased except for,
Engineering services, that's the.
yeah.
That's on that.
Is that the 10,000 catch-all for Banner?
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. That is what Banner asked us to put into our agenda for the what ifs. And then, for an example, this TAPS grant, we didn't have it budgeted anywhere, so then this would. And then if they're not having to sign a contract, and if we don't use it,
Yeah.
we're not, we don't have to pay them.
It's there, so
Yeah,
we
yeah.
can do those little
Mhm.
things.
Kind of like a floating retainer, or are they holding the money, or we don't pay them?
We don't even
until
pay
they-
them until,
Oh, gotcha,
yeah. They
It's just in the budget.
Yep.
gotcha.
They wanted to be able to have just as much as we wanted somewhere to tie that to for our budget. They wanted to have a code of the budget that actual cost out to as well.
That makes sense.
Is everyone good with the council budget?
Yep.
Okay. Move on to the mayor. So when you look at this, you see a decrease of $9,190, but that is actually, you had gotten the childcare kickstart grant in 25, and which was 10,000, and so it's really pretty much even from 25 to 26.
As you can see in your spreadsheet, you can see those 22, 23. And then the 24 is an aberration because of the $10,000 grant.
Mhm. Yeah. Okay, gonna move on to the city administrator. This is an increase of $27,140. Partly due to the health insurance, we are covering Jerry. That was part of his retirement package, and so there's an additional health insurance coverage for him. And then I will let Jason explain the HEDC conference.
So under other travel registrations, I'm asking to be able to attend the Heartland Economic Development Conference, which is in Independence, Kansas. And I think, obviously I've been in economic development with my past role, but this is kind of a refresher course for me to be able to bring some newer tools back to us. In regards to strategic planning, business retention, expansion, site development and financing. So I think that's something that will serve us moving forward. So I'm asking for that to be included. And we know that cost was about $1,400, so that's a little bit more than what had been previously budgeted with Jerry in the past. As far as lodging, that increase kind of reflects that conference, but also the fact that, I'm probably looking to attend some more meetings that Jerry hasn't over the last year or two. Being new, I know like Austin's looking at maybe me going to a conference with him. So we thought that we probably should reflect that in that budget item.
And then one other thing is you are looking to add to your office for office furniture. That could possibly even be in this year's budget. So that is the changes in the city administrator.
Thought about putting in the whole ballroom, like.
We could move it. It's the other.
You need to find donors.
Would you like to be the first one? Finance office is an increase of $1,779. I would say it is mainly salaries. Let's see. The auditors, ELO, CPAs and advisors tend to increase every year, so I did add a little bit more. to that line item. And then also I have underneath furniture and office, my printer in my office is going on 18 years old. And it's starting to have a few little hiccups where it just decides it's not gonna work. So I did throw in $1,500 to buy a new printer, copier, scanner.
Do we buy or do we lease our?
We buy just because it's so much cheaper.
Yeah.
And then like on our large one here, we do have a contract for all of our toner. And if anything were to break down, we have a 5-year on that one. But usually after 5 years, they're not worth anything anymore.
Yeah.
But so this year I budgeted a part of it in 24 and a part in 25, and then we got a brand new one and paid for it. Didn't lease it or anything. Any questions? So city attorney, there's an increase of $500, and that is due to Freeburg's retainer was increased. It was $1,750 a month, and it is going up to $2,000. Government buildings, we have an increase of $864. It is mainly after Jason used the city car today, we had budgeted to put 4 new tires on the car, but he looked at them and he thought we could do another year without replacing the tires. So if you guys are all okay with it, I'll take out that. I believe we had $1,000 in there for tires.
Under what?
Machinery and auto. It's the very last.
Oh,
So the government buildings takes care of the oil changes in the city car, and then the insurance on it, and then any repairs.
is that the SUV?
It's the Equinox, the 2019 Equinox.
Okay.
We don't have any lingering costs from the office move.
It would just be getting Jason set up properly for
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, because I mean,
And then
24 is actual, but
We are looking, Eli, to do some door changes.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Underneath building and improvements, I got a quote, just get an estimate from Twite Construction to put a push button lock on our back door, our conference door. Right now, we don't even use it because you can barely get it open, and then it barely shuts. And then when it rains, we have water come in, so he's gonna look at fixing all of that, and he gave us a quote of $1,700. And then also the drive-up window, the intercom has been acting up, and also the door, so we thought maybe it'd be time to have someone take a look at that and repair before it's broken.
I feel like those doors are fairly hard open for an elderly individual that's coming in to pay their bill or something.
And Dave
He's gonna
White,
take a look at that.
yeah, said he'd come in this year. He didn't think they needed to be replaced, he just thought they needed to be adjusted.
You feel the tires are safe enough to be driving on over the winter or?
I looked at them, I mean, so they still have they're Ultimax brand tires, General Ultimaxes, and they have like a wear pattern indicator on them, and you
Yeah.
can still read those, Mike.
Oh, okay,
I think they are.
yeah. Probably got a few miles left
Yeah.
on them. You guys don't drive it that much.
When we do, we go to Pier.
Yeah,
That's about where it goes every time, maybe to Sioux Falls a couple times, like today it went to Sioux Falls. But typically Pier.
yep. Okay,
So if you are okay with it, I will reduce that. Or do you wanna leave it?
There's no point in replacing them if they don't need to be replaced.
move that into the, cover the expenses you're doing with the doors.
It could be.
Or does that $4,000 cover all that?
The $4,000 is 17 for the back door, and then the drive up window repair. And we were hoping that the repair of these doors could be done in 25.
Okay. Oh, you're gonna do that yet this year?
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, put it back in the general, I guess. Or maybe we'll move it to something else once we just go over what. Where we're short.
Okay. Any other questions?
Nope.
So the police department. We have an increase of $29,195. Um. The tools and shop equipment, he would like to purchase a pressure washer. In training course fees, he would like to send Officer Bolus to a TASER instructor class, for $900. The water, sewer and garbage, they're over in the building now, where last year was like a part of a year. Or in 25, they're a part of a year, so that increased from like 23. If you see where it was all zeros, then all of a sudden it's 1,500. They didn't pay utilities when they were at their old office. The buildings and improvements, he would like to put new lights in the attached office garage ballast bypass. He got a quote from Todd's Electric for $1,000. He would like to wrap the front windows. He got a quote from SS Graphics for $750. And then he would like a new NVR for camera system and added cameras. Beresford gave him a quote of $1,169. So those are the improvements he'd like to do in 26. Furniture and office, he would like to purchase some new office chairs, 2 new office computers and monitors, and purchase a car laptop for the new patrol vehicle. He got a quote for $3,500. And then so 35 plus the chairs in the office or the computers. Machinery and auto, last year we purchased a 2025 Ford Interceptor. The car has just been used right now to go to Elk Point or Canton for court. It's been used for any conferences or training. And so he's looking to now outfit it and also get graphics and everything put on there. And so he has a quote of $20,000. Which includes new radar and graphics. And I'm guessing sirens and all of the things to make it functional. Miscellaneous fixed assets, at the last council meeting, you all approved the contract, the 5-year contract on the TASER, so that's what's also new. Any questions on the police?
Their health insurance went up about $8,500.
That
just
is due to 2 people having family and 3 having single. And so with the health insurance going up 10%, that's what. You guys are pretty quiet. We either did a really good job or you're gonna fall off your chair. I don't know, one of the 2.
I do like the column that you added that shows.
The difference?
from last year's one.
You. Thanks,
It's just,
Jason.
I'm not doing math in my head.
Yeah.
Math's hard.
Yeah. Well, and then it's just easier. Okay, fire is being reduced by $1,041. The South Dakota Public Assurance Alliance, with the insurance on the building is a good chunk of why it was reduced. Their utilities didn't run as high, so we kind of reduced their. And then the transfer to reserve, if you all remember the 10% and 2%, the 10% liquor and the 2% malt beverages that all of our malt beverage and liquor vendors in town have to pay. It goes into our fund and then we turn around and give it to the fire department for their expenses. So then the fire department just received the fire truck. They took out a loan to get a fire truck. So then this $40,000 will go back to repay the electric department and the telephone for the loan they took out. Make sense, or have I confused? No, okay. It's like shuffling the money all over the place. Moving on to the street department, I am gonna let Jason talk about the street department. We do have a decrease of $200,758, and I will let him have the floor.
So I think the first thing I want to draw your attention to is other rentals there, 42,404. So as we were having conversations about this with Elaine, and then I started talking to Jeff a little bit. Really where this is all coming together is around. Make sure I'm telling you the right numbers, folks. Where's that truck at, Elaine?
So if you go all the way down to the bottom to the machinery and auto.
43,600, sorry, 43,600. This is where this is all tying together is, last year you guys purchased, or had a $202,000 in that equipment fund to purchase a dump truck. And the guys did a nice job of finding one, I think in Arden Hills, Minnesota for, 73,245. So as we started looking at the budget, Jeff had a significant increase in that rental portion. And so we started asking why. And it was due to the rental of the mower tractor that we use, the John Deere that we get. And it was increasing dramatically. I think it was going up to like 20-some thousand a year. And so we started looking at that and said, does that make sense for us to rent something for $20,000 a year? So I proposed to Jeff if he'd be open to that, to start looking to purchase a tractor rather than renting a tractor. And using the difference of that 202,000 with the 73,000. So right now in his existing budget, they have $128,000 sitting there. So we did a little bit of research, and actually I found a pretty nice 2024 with 6 hours on it. So this is fairly similar to what we have now. It's a little bit smaller, but probably more realistic for a mower than the 6R that they're using right now. So this is a contract right now with C&B, and won't be ready till March of next year, but we can still purchase it in this budget cycle. So that's what we're looking to do, is to purchase that mower tractor for $73,000. So essentially for 3 years of rental, we will have a tractor that we should get 15 to 20 years use out of. And was already budgeted, so we won't have a $20,000 rental going forward with that.
And what do they mow with that?
So I think that's what they do, like out by the sewer plant
Okay,
and more of the entrances to town and stuff like that, man. They have that,
Okay.
that batwing mower, that 15-foot.
okay.
And we've been in the last 3-4 years renting from Gross and Herbs in their program. He got word that it's going to increase drastically.
Okay,
So,
but they were keeping the mower, just getting a tractor.
correct, yeah.
Okay,
And then we talked about, down the road, maybe in budget in 27, we'll add attachments to this so that the structure can be used in other.
Like maybe a
Where's the
snow
low-
loader or something. like that.
Yeah.
So
okay,
we'll see what things wants to, at least
If
we'll
needed.
own it, have it year round, and be able to utilize it.
If needed.
makes sense.
Then did you want to talk about the chip sealing?
Sure can. So again, trying to understand where things are. If you remember, Banner talked to us about the chip seal project and how we did not do that in 2025. And that they were going to honor our pricing for the 2026 year. So when Jeff brought his budget forward, he had that amount and an additional $130,000 in his proposal to us. So that does a little bit of money for chip sealing. So I went and said to explain this to me a little bit, how we've gone about this in the past. Basically what I found out from Jeff is the 2025 proposed, and I can pass this around if you guys would like. Everything in yellow here is what's proposed, that we did not do. We're looking to do next year. This is really what we found is the remaining piece from 2019 on for the entirety of the community to be chip sealed. So what I asked him is if we would be good with just doing the $105,000 like we had for last year and then come back with a little better structured plan for how we're going to move forward with that chip seal program going forward. And really, my question was, if we wait on some of these, are we okay a year, or are we gonna start losing our integrity of our roads? And he felt we were okay because it's been 2019 or on earlier. So I think Elaine gave me a little bit of history on that. 2019, it was like $30,000. So we weren't getting a lot of chip sealing done, and in the last couple of years, you've increased it to about $100,000. So if we stay with that kind of model, I think we'll get through town in, 3-4 years, depending on cost of chip sealing going forward. So really Jeff is looking at using the money that we had allocated for last year, next year to do this portion. And that's all we will do. We will not do an additional $100,000 of chip sealing on top of that.
So basically, since 19 to the coming year, we've covered town.
That's correct.
Okay.
So he had a nice map with all the
Yeah.
color on it, so.
Yep, in 2026, then every street in town would have been covered since 2019.
Okay.
So, yeah, well, that was kind of in limbo. They did agree to honor pricing?
Yep.
Mhm.
Okay, so yeah, we didn't know that, did we? Had you told us that?
Possibly not.
Okay, that's good.
Sorry.
Yeah, yep,
Yeah, no,
Yep. they were fine with it.
okay,
Because, again, I came in on the
Yeah.
negotiation, but I believe there was some verbiage in there that would have allowed us to fine them for not
right,
doing what they were going
and
to.
we waived that.
And we waived it in order for them to reduce that price.
And this is enough to cover everything that
Yep,
needs to
that's
be
correct.
done. Okay,
That's the original,
Yeah.
that was supposed to be done in 25.
right, okay,
So also in 25, part of that was to just fog seal the swimming pool parking lot, the north and the
Yep.
east parking lot. And so we're gonna keep that. That's $12,000, but that's in the swimming pool fund.
okay.
But
Jeff felt that needed to happen,
Yeah.
so he said, don't remove that this year, we need to maintain that.
Okay.
no chips, just seal. I don't know why.
Yeah.
It's something they had come up with. As an engineer, do you know why, Pat, they would do
I
that?
did with asphalt.
Okay.
But by not doing anything next year, we're not gonna fall behind on maintenance.
Right, that's kind of what I was asking him, if he felt because we had done that 2019 Ford, that we'd be not okay.
Those are generally 7 to 10 years, is
Yeah.
probably the schedule you only did on that one.
So that's why we thought, if we're staying with the 100,000 a year moving forward roughly budget. Then we'll, probably get 2 or 3 of that 2019 and 2020 year in one
Right.
cycle, so.
When we increased it a couple years ago, that was the concern, is that we were falling behind. That's why we increased it to do more coverage each year. And Jeff felt that was adequate a couple years ago when we increased it, so.
The one other thing I'll point out to you guys is, the X here, if you can see that, is by Elm Street by the school. That is really the only spot that we felt the sewer lining projects would affect the chip sealing next year. So really, we'll probably wait on that block. Move that to somewhere else that we may need something, but otherwise, this kind of overlaid really well with what they'd already done this year for that project. So when they're coming back next year, this isn't gonna be affecting that.
Good.
And then the asphalt mix.
Yep, so. Okay, so this is kind of a conversation that is ongoing right now, with Merle and Roy being in town doing the Bach edition. And where we're at with having that nice new development, Gun Club Road being redone, we have about 600 feet of gravel there. And to me, I would really like us to try to get that at least covered with asphalt rather than, being gravel to there. And
On North Third?
on North Third.
Okay,
Yep, and then
From the
the other
Hester
hope with
house.
that is, potentially if it makes sense, having Jeff's team maybe do almost a bike path in our right of way on North Third from where there is sidewalk to then get all the way out to the ballpark, right? So, right now we are estimating that. We don't know where that totally will come in at. So we're looking at his past budget of 30,000 and thought if we added 15,000 of allocation, that would allow us to have some room to do some of that.
No curb or gutter on North Third.
That's correct.
Okay, it's just the bike path,
No, actually, it'd
the,
be
or the,
The
you
asphalt.
pave the the road itself.
That's right.
Okay.
And then you'd add extra for a bike path along the side?
Correct.
Oh, that's a great
It'd be on
idea.
the west side.
Yep. So we think, again, this is all preliminary, but we think the west side there, we have enough in our right of way to run 600 feet of bike path. It'd be
Good.
8 foot from our asphalt.
Do you have to add anything to the road?
No,
'Cause it seems kind of narrow right through there.
no. We'll use the same base that they have now.
Okay.
So what we're trying to do is, if Merle and Roy will allow it, do that now at the end of fall with this budget that we have now. We have enough funds to do that. If not, then we would need this little extra allocation to do that. So
Okay.
I'm putting it in case we don't get it back.
Yeah, and I think the history of that road, at one point in time, it had covering, asphalt covering.
Right.
Mhm.
And then we had a spring where we had a lot of frost bubbles. And,
We had to shut it down. It was horrible.
yeah, and so Jeff has a ripper. He went through, ripped it, just made it gravel, and that's been okay, but if we're doing asphalt in the other area, we've got kids riding, because it does get a little bit thin there if we have a designated bike path,
Mhm.
Correct.
kids that are riding to practice.
Do we do dust control on that now?
No,
I don't think there's any,
it's just clouds of dust.
Yeah.
People walking and riding their bikes
Yeah.
are just getting.
And
Yeah.
again, Eli, I don't know, I think this is true. It was chip sealed.
Hmm.
It was not true asphalt like what we're looking to do now.
Got it.
You know, so we're talking it
Yeah.
down to the base level and
Yeah.
putting in, I don't know what it is, 4 inches.
Mhm.
of-
Yeah,
of
4 will
asphalt.
probably be the minimum, yeah.
You know, so hopefully it's a little more sustainable.
Yeah.
Long term.
and we were hoping to hear back from Merle and Roy
Yeah.
sooner than later,
Yeah,
but
he told me this
unfortunately.
week and I haven't
Yeah.
heard. I called him at 4:30 and haven't heard, so.
It's not over yet. Right.
Yep. Yep.
And then underneath property cleanup, so do you want to take this?
I can, so, Jeff proposed $2,500. I think initially we maybe had conversations prior about our team, taking out the footings of the Peterson, condos. I don't know that address of that road, I'm sorry, but,
Mhm.
East North Maple,
when they started looking into
remember
it,
my memory.
it doesn't work for them because they don't have the excavator to get rid of that rebar. So this is him asking for the cost estimate roughly of what Donnie thought it would cost to remove that for us. So.
$2,500 will pull all those footings out.
Jeff's.
I think it's just destroying it, and I think Jeff's
Oh.
department will do the cleanup,
Okay.
Oh, gotcha. They'll just go in and rip it
Rip it
up.
out.
Yep.
Okay,
and they'll do the cleanup part of it. That's what I took it as.
Sure.
that makes more sense.
So I thought it was cheap too. And then
Yeah, I'm sure we're hauling it away.
Yeah. So Jeff had asked to put some money in reserves. Just because he feels like the sweeper is getting up there in age and they're quite expensive. He says they've increased, I think we paid $180,000 for the sweeper we have now, and now they're up to $240,000 to $250,000. There's nothing wrong with the sweeper. He's just concerned that we need to start putting some money away. So we looked into it, and the street department is sitting fine in South Dakota Fit for if something were to happen with the street sweeper. We do have funds in that savings account for that department. So we lowered his transfers to reserve back down to 0.
What was he asking for?
200,000.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, okay. Trying to buy it all in one time.
yeah. And we have 340, real quick. 307,000 in South Dakota Fit for the street department. So I think we're okay, unless you guys want to.
Jeff's good with that, and if he knows, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yep, he knows.
I mean, I wouldn't have a problem doing like 20,000. Just to keep building up his fit reserves. That way, I don't know, whatever, what does everybody else think? It's just,
So here's the thing, if we put 20,000 in there, then we have to increase our transfers from the electric department and the telephone department.
oh, okay, so this keeps it at 0.
Mhm.
Gotcha.
So keep that in the back of your mind.
Okay.
I'm not against it at all, but just know that that's what's gonna have to happen
Why do you have to do that?
to make it balance.
Got it.
Yeah,
Okay,
That's really our only other source of revenue.
yeah.
got it. Okay.
Any questions on the street department? I feel like we're flying through this.
That's okay.
We'll be out here before midnight.
Aren't you? Knock on wood quick.
Yeah, okay, so mosquitoes. This year, I believe Keith reported he went out 3 times and sprayed, but he feels we need to keep $3,500 in there, for chemicals, just to keep supply. We don't know what next year's gonna bring.
So did he use $3,500 this year?
He did not.
How much did he use? I didn't, I mean, I'm not saying he wasn't out, but I never saw him out this year.
Well, you know, it's funny because we had such an odd season. We had rainy until,
Yep.
you know, the end of July, basically, and then nothing, and we had some water that collected in different spots. We had a chance for some mosquitoes to come out, but the West Nile was at bay this summer. And, you know, Keith mentioned to me that he had his traps that were out set in strategic locations around town, and despite the fact people were asking me like, why isn't Jeff spraying? He said in the traps he wasn't finding any mosquitoes, so. I mean, it's 3,500, he hasn't used that, he hasn't used anything over 248
Yeah.
since 2021, he used 2,400.
And he didn't use any he didn't purchase anything in 25.
Cause he did have like a stockpile.
Yeah.
Oh,
Does it
interesting.
get old though?
So he's using the older stuff first, but he wants to keep 35 in there just in case we need to get.
Fine.
I don't think it's 26.
So what he didn't use this year. does
We'll go
that-
back into the general fund.
Okay,
And let's just hope that we don't have mosquitoes next year.
well, then it would be a dry summer again.
Oh, okay, we want mosquitoes next year. Well, then it'd help with the water revenue, but. The Parks Department, we reduced from 25 to 26 by $119,265. This is due mainly to, last year we had the golf park shop that is south of the golf course built in, and obviously we are done building that and it's not in the budget anymore. Let's see.
Is 2,700 enough for salaries?
It's increased by 2,710.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, is that enough?
It's 5%.
Okay,
On, on line 42, 578, the airplane club. Why are we donating or giving $700 to them and not anything to the gun club or the saddle club? I
So-
understand the saddle club, but
That pays for the porta pot out there.
so they have a porta potty out there just for a gun or
For the airplane club. I think it's called the Beresford Area Radio Flyers.
can't they supply the money for a? I mean, why are we giving them money and nothing to the gun club?
I'm afraid
Well, the gun club has
he's already had off.
got the land and so does the airplane club.
I mean, I think they should be
you wanna
responsible for that $700.
Reach out to, like, I can't think of his name.
Brad Johnson,
There's another one. He lives. Yeah, Brad Jensen would be a good one, but
Trying to think, you know, when we held the state baseball tournament, we knew we were on the front end of that. We expected to have a decent crowd out there for the 12 baseball tournament. So we got some porta potties again, but then I think BBSA paid for those. The baseball and softball organization did, so. I don't think it's, I mean, does the radio Flyers coordinate through us for their?
I'm not sure if they get a hold of Kelly or if it's just a standing, bring one down in the spring and.
Yeah, I'd be okay.
Does the gun
eliminating
club
that.
use it too?
No, I don't think
It's a
so,
fundraiser.
because it's far,
Because baseball and softball have to pay for their own.
I mean, you have to
We
go-
had extras.
I think there's some trees there. And it's on the north side of the trees is where it's sitting.
Okay.
So could that be strategically placed so it's
Used at both
halfway
places.
difference?
We bring, talked about bringing additional help to maintain the. Yeah, see that? They didn't ask for additional monies to hire somebody else to help pay for the, not pay for, it, work at the North Fields more, put more time in.
I thought they
Um,
were taking off a day to. Like. If they didn't work Friday, then they'd work Saturday or something. I thought they were doing that like strategically.
You mean flexing their time?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, they probably are, but there was discussion last year that we would meet with them and find out what their needs were and if they felt like they were stretched too thin or we needed to bring somebody on.
Well, yeah, because along those same lines, when I look at the ball field maintenance line item, we budgeted 10 last year, and they're gonna budget 7,500 for 2026. So I'm wondering, and of course, that number's been all over the map in the last few years. So both the people to maintain the North Field, the additional space and the equipment, and all the different things that you need. And maybe that was one thing we need from Kelly is just a feel from him. Do you have, with the numbers that are currently projected for 2026, is that enough to knowing that you had an uptick in work?
So one of my thoughts, Eli, and I don't know the timing of that, but I look at it from the standpoint of, those guys have a need. It looks like we have a electrical part-time assistants in the summer and, street department does as well. I wonder if we can't better reallocate our team of summer workers. And, maybe they're not dedicated just to the street department or just to the power line department, but we're utilizing them in a different capacity as a summer city employee. And do a little bit more with those team.
Kind of
I don't,
flex.
yeah, I don't know if that works or not. I don't know, but
I would say in the past that I remember Mike saying that, the guy or gal that was gonna work with him was someone that was potentially interested in becoming a lineman, so, but they're still just standing around with a shovel in their hand, or I think it was Isaac last year, right? Isaac Bowden. It was,
Isaac was in the street department.
he was streets, okay.
Yeah. Gavel was
Gavel was
last
there.
year and then
No, it was 2 years ago.
2 years ago, and then, my son Cole was there.
Oh, okay. Did Cole or Gavel need any special skills, or were they still kind of on the working end of a shovel?
They were the Gophers.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yep.
Mowers.
and again, I don't think that's wrong for them to be part of like a project, right? If they're doing something in the Bach development.
Yeah.
Those guys are pulling wire and getting a feel for that. I think that's awesome, but
but if we need to flex them,
right,
I mean, it would be easy to do.
it may be a way to. Again, I don't know if that's feasible
So
or not.
when you hire them, you're not gonna say you're just parks or you're just street.
Right.
You are.
Or maybe there's something on your,
Jack, I mean, like he would mow for the electric department too, like he was under the street department, but I feel like they pulled him.
Yeah,
Did a
yeah.
little bit.
Mhm. Yeah.
Other too.
Yeah.
So like when I was in high school, I mowed cemeteries and parks for city of Hayward. And then when it would dry out and they were doing patchwork and they needed assistance, they'd pull us to do stuff with them, so I think it's just, you're one team conquering whatever you need. If you need to part paint or whatever that looks like, we can do that together, so.
And I suppose that you would have to know. Because if they didn't have like the park or, they would automatically go to Kelly, or if they were, then you'd have to have they'd have to know who they
Yeah.
Communicate.
Right.
communicate with,
Correct.
but yet other duties you might not
As
just
assigned.
be, yeah, you
Just
might
be
not just
understood.
be.
So just a quick note, I would assume that all of the invoices for 25 for the ball field maintenance are in, and our balance right now is at $6,200 for this entire year, which the fields were used. So I think that's why
and that
we
pays
just took
for-
that number, and then he has payment 3 of 5 to Ferguson Waterworks for the Cirrus Pro upgrade. That's the irrigation system
Yeah.
for the baseball field. And so I think he's doing 65 for the fertilizer chemicals. And then, 1,000 for that Ferguson.
Cause just talking to different coaches involved, I think they're gonna try and, they're hoping to host tournaments almost every weekend this year. Whether it be baseball or softball, they're trying to get 12U state tournament here again. That was a big hit for us.
So Mike, do they help with that, like line chalking and painting, or is that fully on our staff?
No,
Dragging in between the games or?
were they paid or were they volunteers?
They were paid.
They were paid.
So some of Kelly's staff. Isaiah Richards, there's a few other guys,
Was there a
Lauren,
Yeah.
yeah, Quonset, right? And then Kelly was out there and Keith Kapinski was out there. I don't know if Keith attributed that time, not for sure if he was volunteering or not, but there should be some help from the baseball and softball organization as well. And they should get, I know Matt put out a call for volunteers to run the concession stands to reduce the overall cost. They didn't pay those folks. But insofar as, prepping the fields. I'm a
I'm just
local.
hearing what Mike's saying
Yeah.
of, we're gonna have more increase.
Right.
Is that
And-
volunteer
and-
helping cover that, or we have?
All the volunteers are covering concessions and tickets and.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just, yeah, I mean, we did that during the state tournament, one other tournament, we took tickets for several hours one day.
Well, just the between game prep and stuff, when you're out there with the machine dragging it, is better. It would be better in my mind to have someone that knows how to run that
Yeah, we
equipment.
can't just have
than-
anybody jump on that and run it around.
A volunteer. Let's jump on.
And that's why I'm saying that you may need to look at your budget increase, if you're gonna increase that and it's staff.
That's what I was thinking. I don't know if he has enough in there. And two, like I said too, we wanted to visit with them, we didn't get the opportunity to before this. To bring somebody on, maybe potentially in a full-time role over the summer, just to take care of that, or can be allocated elsewhere, but.
Do you know does Adam Nelson show interest in coming back next year? Does anyone know?
I don't know.
Okay,
Not sure.
he did a very nice job this summer.
Yeah, he enjoyed it and the guys that worked with him, they had a good time, but I think his healthcare is one that'll predict whether or not he's able
Where was he helping?
East
Northfield.
Park. Yep,
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep.
Adam was helping out there, okay.
he kind of headed up the North Ball fields, taking
Yep.
care of that, and then he would have a couple kids with him and.
And then he mowed too, I think, sometimes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did all the mowing and the prepping.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So was that the first year we had that position, Wayne, or?
It's the first time he applied for the part-time position.
Does this have like the wood chips and stuff? Is that in this parks department too? Like the wood chips that had to be replaced in the park, like the slides and stuff? Is that in this parks department or?
Yeah, I'm not sure which one he codes that to, probably buildings and grounds. Oh, here, he's planning on, tearing out and replacing the shrubs around the band show.
Which one is that? The building?
That is 42501 Buildings and Grounds. He did not put anything in here for wood chips.
I was just wondering, I mean, there's like the swings, some of the swings, repairing them or even putting in a handicap swing out there. Is that all, I mean, does that all have to be in grant money or is that in this budget too?
This is in this, that said here.
Okay.
Didn't Kelly talk to you about trees in the park too, Eli?
So underneath miscellaneous fixed assets, oh, sorry, let me go back, building and improvements, let me get this here. This is where. I think my computer's telling me that it's done. So we had that $50,000 land and water conservation fund grant. So 50,000 of this is to buy the playground equipment that we ordered.
And that's half of what
Yep.
it costs, right?
Yep, and so the 50,000 will show on the revenue side, we'll get to that. We added $5,000 for a sidewalk to and from the walking path to the playground. This is all up north at the North Ball Field. The high school baseball field backstop $100,000. It's ordered. He would like to get some new office chairs. He'd like to put some concrete, I believe, at the dog park. And then he'd like to get some new benches for the city park and plant trees at the north ball field.
Maybe a question to ask him there, Mike, to your point is. When we have the plant trees line item from Northfields. If we bought a couple of trees, would there be a volunteer workforce and could he point out where they need to be in the park? Because that was what Gary was interested in, so. Because there are a couple parts of the park that are getting a little sparse.
Mhm.
And so,
So we're also looking into would you like to?
Yeah, Jerry, so when we were talking through different things, budget cycle wise, Jerry brought up there's a grant opportunity, and I don't know what the max, was it $5,000 max?
Yeah,
You can apply for 50% match. So I'm trying to figure out where that is
Mhm.
and then apply for it, right? And for
To be used for what?
trees.
Oh, good.
So
Okay.
if we're doing something with, what do we have, 7,500 for that loan? Is that right?
I
We were already
I don't
looking
have
at
noted.
spending at least
Yeah.
that. Why wouldn't we at least try to double
it,
right?
yeah.
So, and then maybe talk to the county conservations and see what we can do there as well. Yeah, ash trees are gonna continue to disappear and,
Mhm.
we had a lot that we lost over the summer, so.
I mean, I think we should add like 5,000 to the full-time salaries budget. And bring that back up to 7,500 for ball field maintenance, just until we've had a chance to talk to them.
So the ball field maintenance is at 7,500 right now.
Oh, well, 10,000, I mean, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Any objections to that? Just till we had a chance to talk to Kelly and
No,
I mean, do we have any idea, like on that one tournament we had, how much effort that the city had into that as far as manpower to run that tournament? If we're gonna do it every weekend, it would be kind of a gauge. I mean, it's probably a bigger tournament than what you would normally see, but
So I think we're done with part-time salaries in the park, and right now we are sitting, we budgeted 25,000. And we overextended, we're at 27,032.
I'm sorry, what are you talking about?
So in 2025, we budgeted $25,000 for the part-time salaries.
Okay,
Right now, I don't foresee that we have any more salaries coming through for the 2025 year, and we're at $27,032.
so you won't have any move, I mean, you wouldn't have any room to move on if you just leave it at the 2,500.
So would
Right.
that 5,000 be there?
I was thinking full-time salary.
Full-time? Okay,
Yeah.
So would we need that?
sorry, I thought you were talking about part-time
Would
salaries.
we need to add to part-time as well then?
I don't know, that's what I'm saying, we need to visit with Jason and Kelly to get a feel for this.
So the ball tournaments we did have this year, this would include it. I don't know how many more we're gonna have.
He says every weekend,
They're hoping to schedule every
and
weekend.
this was just one weekend, right?
So, no, didn't we have
Oh,
three?
Three,
Three extra?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, at what point do the baseball association needs to step in and
Yeah,
help?
well, for the Jack Lawrence, I think they paid for everything, didn't they?
yeah, I think so.
The school or the city didn't have to contribute anything to that, and that's probably the second biggest tournament we host out there. It would just be if we got the state tournament again.
Cause I don't know, again, we haven't had that in-depth of conversation, but. If you have more tournaments, you're chopping more, you're doing more of that, and we purchase all that, so.
And if it's drier, we're gonna be watering more. At least through the season. I mean, we can take it out again after we visit with Jason, but at some point between now and our next meeting, we need to have a conversation with Jason
With
and
Kelly?
Kelly,
Yeah.
both of them.
So who's our committee for that?
Myself, Larry and Sarah,
Do you think you'd be able to
try and get,
connect with him?
Yeah.
I'll try connecting the three of you on an email of availability and then
yeah,
meet with those two.
Yep.
Yeah, and I was at the course this morning for the Geezers League, and Ben mentioned too about getting together to talk about things sooner than later from his point of view as well, so. On the baseball thing about the revenue, I don't know that those tournaments are set. As a matter of fact, 5 minutes from now, a BBSA is having a meeting tonight. I was going to attend because they're working, they're gonna look at a plan to make a run again to have upper level baseball on its own,
outside of the.
outside of PRCE. I think that has been discouraged. It gets real complex with the money and potential revenue, 501c, the whole thing. But the ongoing discussion having tournaments this year did generate revenue. Some from tickets, and Eli, you'll know on this too, and concessions and so forth. The goal of PRCE with that was when you can finally get ahead and have these events, a part of this money needs to be plowed back in to reduce registration fees. And I think that's the plan with some of that for this coming year, to estimate maybe from 150, maybe can go down to 125. And you're making that bet in advance, in a sense. You're spending the money waiting for it to come back in. But that's been a high priority discussion the last 2 years. How do you bring down registration fees for everybody? There are scholarships available, but that's been a consistent theme of why are they so darn high here? It's not apples to apples compared to other communities, because a lot of communities you just go watch, you're paying a gate fee. If you're going to watch softball on Tuesday night, where here you just drive in. So that, I mean, when you start talking about, can some of this money come back for some of these things? Yes, but I know there is an active plan to help bring down registration fees for the participation of kids in the community.
That's a great idea.
That's been chief among concerns that have been coming into the PRCE. And it's.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I can adjust some of these numbers and, I mean, increase it, and if we don't use the funds, I'll just go back into the general fund and at the end of 26.
And I think part of Mike's point too was both with parks, and I know the golf course is in the enterprise side, is in those positions, particularly with Jason, we brought him up to stay in the salary range, but part of the discussion was that may be a position that we look at if there is anything above a base increase, that might be one that needs to be considered. Possibly Kelly as well. So and again, that's money that we probably won't make a final decision on for a couple of months, but.
And also, I mean, there might be something in here that, if his wages increased over 5%, that there's other categories that will offset it. I mean, it's not set in stone that,
Yeah.
That this is all you can get for salaries. I mean, there's other line items that maybe buildings and the grounds, maybe you won't spend the $7,000. It's just really the bottom number.
Oh, okay. I was thinking you
No,
had to see the money in that.
It's the bottom number.
Okay.
No, so there might be other areas that.
Okay, then we don't need to adjust anything. We'll just.
Okay.
In that, Jason or Elaine, did they talk about the condition of some of the mowers? I heard feedback that.
We'll visit when we get to
Okay,
the,
all right.
Golf course side of it.
Was there the one last thing you mentioned it real briefly, Ashmore? We had an assessment, we had a proposal that was given to us several months ago.
Right.
A gentleman from Lennox for a multi-year assessment and mitigation plan, because about 20% of our tree canopy in Beresford is emerald, or is not emerald ash borer, this ash. And we thought it to be too pricey. To do it all at once, and so, but we've talked about a phased approach. Phase one would be the analysis of trees, whether or not they're savable or not. I don't know if we've got that anywhere. I don't think we've got that.
I think our end of July storm helped us.
Yeah.
If you guys ever been out to the rubble site lately and seen that pile?
Yeah.
It's unreal,
Yeah.
but there is nothing in the budget for that.
dashboard.
The tree pile or the chip pile or both?
Mhm.
Well, it's probably gonna be a benefit because they'll be able to chip seal it and those chip seals will be able to be used at our wastewater treatment facility
Where the trees have been.
She's talking.
out at the rubble site. Yep.
Okay,
But Eli's saying, do we need to budget for that? Like, we were gonna, and we're only responsible for the ones in the boulevards.
Correct.
In park.
And I think at
Yeah.
the same
Yeah.
time, we would potentially start down. And I think when you talk to Kelly, like he's got a feel for what needs to probably be assessed earlier rather than later, but boulevards, park, then the golf course eventually. And he feels like he could probably do some of that assessment work because of his background, his expertise. So we could potentially take that cost off the proposal that we were given, but then the mitigation plan, I think that would be
Yeah,
something that would
Right.
fall in.
And I've talked to another, individual that is a certified arborist that, he may be able to. I talked with him about it for,
Yeah.
a while, and what the guy, proposed in his proposal, was 30 grand, 40 grand or something
Yeah.
to.
Yeah.
To do the initial assessment,
Yeah.
and he thought it could be done for less than that, but
and that didn't include any treatment.
no, that was just an
assessment.
assessment.
Treatment is expensive.
Yeah,
Yeah. I was just
If
getting.
you drive an hour east of your towns are wiping out trees.
Yeah.
I mean, I live in Sheldon and I lived in a boulevard of tree lined trees.
Yeah.
That are.
Lamar's did that as well. They had one similar to Third. They had one that's 10, 12 blocks long with a boulevard down there. We're all ash trees and they're all gone. And it was proactive cutting. It wasn't disease.
Get it before it's too late.
mhm.
There's a fine line with those trees as far as where. There's some things to look for on it, but.
So do we need to throw something in to have some assessments being done, or are we just gonna rely on Kelly to do that for us?
I think it'd be a smart idea to figure something in there. To at least do the initial assessment portion of it. Get a feel. Develop a plan, I guess, of. If there's certain trees that, significance by their size and where they're located, that we feel that they're worth keeping and treating, identify those and, yeah. I'm sure there's a bunch of them that it's just gonna be remove it.
Does Lincoln or Union County, have they started taking any initiatives through conservation boards with this? I know in Iowa.
I think his Canton had some issues with it.
They did,
Yeah.
Ken and Lennox.
but I didn't know if the conservation teams are helping with that in Iowa, that's. Yeah, sorry, that's what I know, but
So what do we need for an assessment to be done?
I think maybe step one is when we talk to Kelly, just get his perspective, because I think there was part of this he could do, or at least that he understood. And then he could help give us some direction on whether or not we need to engage a formal assessment and, yeah, because that way we don't get, right now, I think it's 6-7 miles away from town. That's my understanding. I think based on rate of spread, yeah, that gives us,
it's in this town.
is it?
I've cut trees with it in it.
Oh, wow.
It's in this town.
So. Yeah, so I mean, that way, that allows us to demonstrate that we're doing something.
Yeah, we'll make a note to discuss that with Kelly when we meet with him.
One last item, Kelly is requesting to purchase a new pressure washer and he got a quote from Sioux Corp for $5,000. We good in the park?
I just got a question real quick.
Mhm.
What's inland marine? What services or?
So
getting from-
that's part of, the insurance. And that is. I think I have a little note on it. So it's new with our, South Dakota Public Assurance Alliance. But that is equipment that leaves the shop and goes out. And is used. In different ways. Inland Marine is kind of, am I saying that
Yeah,
right?
it's basically a term for anything that's not a whole.
Yeah, yeah,
You know, mowers, skid loaders, things like that.
yeah. And that was a new, with the South Dakota Public Assurance Alliance, it was a new item. And so I've matched what they were invoicing us to our system, so it's easier to track from year to year.
Okay. That's same thing with the general liability then.
Yeah. Yep, that's new.
Type of commercial insurance that covers movable property,
Yep.
no boats.
I know, I always thought it was
Yeah.
like, why do we have a boat? Green is not,
Where?
yeah, you know.
What do we
Cause
do?
it was zeros across. so we got the-
Yeah.
Golf course, it says Sagers.
Okay. The swimming pool. We are reducing it by $25,635. I just want to point out, we had budgeted $98,500 for salaries and 25. You guys see Trish Fogeleye, I think you need to tell her how much we appreciated her this year because she kept those kids in check.
Hmm.
I already told her that.
I
Thank
did.
you.
I told her I'd
Thank
put her
you.
in for a good word for next year
Yes.
also.
Yeah. And so far, we're looking at ending the swimming pool part-time salaries at $70,046. And we budgeted $98,500.
Well, he also kept some of the social media roles in check
He
too.
did, he did.
It's for some.
And she kept the stress out of this office too. I mean, she would visit with us and let us know what was going on, but we didn't have half the complaints or
What did you say you were at for salaries for something, or for part-time?
right now,
Yeah,
$70,050.
so that's even less than 2024.
Yeah,
So you're still
23.
10,000 above that, which would help us in case we got to bump lifeguard wages again
Mhm.
to stay in line with.
Does she? get a
Area
raise
pools.
too with what?
She gets a raise every year, yeah. This is, I just put on there the staff, just to keep track of how many kids we had from year to year. And let's see if we can.
Did you have less this year?
What?
Did you have less this year?
All in the whole.
Who wants to count quick? 26. So 26 staff and 24 and then. $22. I believe that the swimming pool attendants, a lot of them was reduced. Buildings and grounds, this, we talked about previously about the fogging of the parking lots. So 12,000 of this is to do that project. Tools and shop equipment, he's requesting to buy a Crest robotic mower for inside the pool. Jason, would you give my voice a break and
My
And
opinion is we do not need a robotic mower inside the pool. I think we could buy a nice battery powered one for $750 for an Eagle Ace, you know, and allow our lifeguards or someone to mow that before
What's the cost of the robots?
$1,500.
Oh,
and then we found one at Ace Hardware.
cause weren't they also interested in one kind of ride around the
It was
clubhouse?
15,000
No.
for that one.
Oh, should we kill that or is it sold out? Yeah. Well, you know, the school invested in a robot to paint lines. And it does lines at the football field, does lines on,
Interesting.
they wanted us to go in with them, but.
Didn't Al's sister go in with them?
Yes.
I think Al's sister went in
Split
with
the
them.
cost with them,
Mhm.
Interesting.
and they're planning to use them for girls softball this spring.
Versus softball, yeah. Yeah, I mean, they're very convincing when they talk about them, but
It is impressive. I went out and watched it.
And I mean, the mower is impressive too, but I just think it's not a huge square footage that I think that lifeguard can knock that out.
I
That's
don't even
good
think
for-
lifeguards do it. I think some of the park staff goes in there.
I think we can change that.
Yeah,
Well, you don't want
That's
kids barefoot out there mowing.
as a sign.
As a sign.
Is there much grass? Because I don't even know.
So there is a corner on the northeast side, and then also on the southwest side, there's some grass
Yeah.
areas.
Okay.
4 or 5 swipes maybe.
Okay, not very much.
Yeah.
In my opinion, not enough to warrant a robot.
Yeah.
Again, you guys do what you want.
So then how much would you say that you would put that as the tools and shopping?
We'd probably reduce it down to,
You said, how much for,
1150.
$750?
cut that in half?
1,500.
Yeah, cut the, or,
Just keep
So is
it.
$3,000 include the
Yes.
$1,500 mower?
Mhm.
No.
so go back to the 1,500, is that what we're
or
thinking?
22.
2250,
Yeah.
a regular mower, and then 1,500 for tools.
$2,250, correct?
Yeah,
Okay. And then underneath miscellaneous fixed assets, he is planning to continue on replacing the chairs around the pool. And then I just edit this. So you guys can read it. In 2024, he did a survey. There was 43 chairs and only 5 were okay. And then in 25, he ordered 18 chairs, which was $3,000. And in 26, he's planning on ordering another 18 chairs along with replacing the lifeguard chair umbrellas, which they have not been replaced since we opened it in 17. So they're starting to show a lot of wear. And also, the life jackets for the patrons are horrible. So they'd like to replace a few of those.
Sure.
And so that comes to $9,000. Is everyone ready to move on? Or do we need to take a break or we're good? Because the next one I think is gonna
Oh,
be
fun one.
a lot to consider. So keep going? Okay.
Yeah, I'd say, I'm going, you will.
Okay. The community subsidies has an increase of $17,000. The Bright Beginnings Daycare has increased by 1,000, community education by 12,500. The city fireworks display, kind of found that it needed to be increased to have a respective display. Old Fashioned, the chamber to help host the Old Fashioned Weekend increased by 1,500, and Faith in Action is increasing by 1,000. So if we start at the very beginning with the senior citizens, they're asking for the exact same amount, but they plan on replacing ceiling tiles in the dining area, bathrooms, and game room. They did get a quote for $3,000 for tile and $1,500 for labor. Just to note, the city owns that building, so we would actually just be putting money back into our own building.
Cause last year wasn't the increase for some refrigeration or refrigerators?
Yeah, the refrigerator or freezer, yeah.
Yeah.
just oven, stove or something.
Let's see if I can get.
Yeah, I think it was a stove, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, a few years ago, they replaced the gas stove.
Mhm. Last year they wanted to I think we'll start getting an outdoor patio put in. I don't know if they did that or not.
Looking to purchase one new freezer.
Do they-
Yeah, one freezer and one fridge. I believe they did replace the refrigerator and freezer. Mhm.
Cause I remember her commenting about it.
Yeah. And I don't think that they got the bingo equipment, but there was something with the state of South Dakota and gambling. And so I think they talked to Freeburg and decided that it wasn't worth the expense.
They're gonna recreate what's it?
Yeah.
The VFW or faucets.
I'd be on it. I'd go. Okay, so then the community bus service is actually, just asking for the exact same. And this would help offset any deficit that may occur is what it helps to, oh, sorry, wrong one.
Yeah.
For fuel, vehicle maintenance and driver wages is what they use the subsidy for. Bright Beginnings Daycare, they're asking for $1,000 more, but it would help replace the outdoor fence and several outdoor play sets that were damaged in the July storm. And then also assist with ongoing expenses, particularly payroll and groceries. Community education is an increase of 12,500. And the reasoning is noted that the subsidy would help offset any deficit that may occur.
What are they participating at? Gonna go over budget or?
They noted in, I think, did you guys get that email I sent out that had all of the details of the application in there? But they noted in 2023, the Watch Puppy Preschool ended the year with a $69,000 shortfall. This spring, the board took the following actions of they increased rates and experienced an increase in enrollment. I'm gonna just continue on and then maybe we can just discuss at the very end. The Beresford Baseball Association is staying the same at $10,000, which helps pay for coach payments that were formerly covered by the Legion of VFW. I think it's been 10,000 for quite a few years. The fireworks display, in order to get a decent, they said they pretty much would not even do it for less than 4,500, and that includes the fireworks. I did offer it to see if the chamber would be interested because originally it was the chambers. And I think the chamber dissolved and it came to the city. So I asked if they would be interested in having it back and then the subsidy would just be added to their chamber subsidy. They're not interested. And I even have the 2026 discharger booked, so it's.
Yeah, I would think they'd be the ones that could go around and get like corporate money and personal donations to actually have a real fireworks display, which we haven't had in years.
In my personal opinion, I think it works better with Old Fashioned Weekend than it does the 4th of July, because if you are in town the 4th of July, there's no one here. But compared to Old Fashioned Weekend, we've got a lot more people in town, but I know we've had a lot of backlash if we don't have it. We're unpatriotic if we do not have it on the 4th of July. This year we had rain, I believe, come through, which postponed it to the Old Fashioned Weekend.
You're right, it does go better with Old Fashioned Weekend.
Mhm.
And I don't even know of anybody in my neighborhood that even goes down to watch the city one.
The 4th.
Because there's people in my community that put on better displays than what the city does.
And I know, I can't remember who I was talking to. They always do their their fireworks display Labor Day weekend, you know? Was that?
Hayward.
Hayward. Oh, I was talking to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it becomes like a spot that people go on
Yeah.
every day, they
Yeah.
know, hey,
Yeah.
go to Hayward.
Yeah.
Fireworks.
But I think if you do have it on Old Fashioned Weekend, nobody is in town on
Yeah.
the 4th of July.
It's like this year, it was the cruise night. And so the police probably were happy that the fireworks were going off because maybe it took them away from downtown to,
Maybe it's just a matter of something we put out there now. That we're planning to do our fireworks display during Old Fashioned and move it from the 4th.
and take the comments off Facebook.
Yeah.
I'm sure Chat GPT could.
Yeah,
Right, soften it.
yeah.
My dog does not like them anytime.
So you're in hard no. It's just.
I like them. He just does not.
Yeah. What's your dog's name?
Ozzy.
Well, Ozzy does not want fireworks in 26. Okay. Coif, I reached out to them. They are doing perfectly fine with their private donations, and they just asked to be considered again next year. The Beresford Cemetery Association is just to continue upkeep on cemetery, which is pretty much paying for the expenses of mowing and paying someone to mow. Chamber of Commerce, they are increasing by $1,500. There is a very ambitious new group taking over the chamber, and they would just like to continue adding more activities. They didn't actually specify, what they would use the additional 1,500 for, but,
Fireworks.
fireworks. I
Tell
know.
them we'll give me 4,500, but they have to use it for fireworks.
I know, I offered that to them. I got a whole pass.
Yeah, they say quarterly events, chamber mixers, tourism, options to promote tourism, interstate traffic, and, business or use for handout cards. So, there's two things. So the fireworks and, cause as someone with economic development expertise, I think Shania is bubbly enough that, and they're energetic enough that maybe that's something we plant with them as a challenge, like go out and get some money. We'll do what we can to help, but instead of asking for, 5,000 for the chamber and 4,500 for fireworks. I bet they would be, and I don't know what their ins and outs look like. Yeah,
I wonder if the chamber would be more inclined of taking on the fireworks if it was incorporated with the old fashioned weekend versus the 4th of July.
So I did get a message back and just said that they would like to have the fireworks display on Old Fashioned Weekend, but I don't know if it doesn't take much labor they're already booked for 26.
I just wondered if them thinking, oh, the 4th of July, we gotta deal with that too.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then stuff happening on
Mhm.
old fashioned, but if it was all the same weekend, maybe they'd be willing to take it on
yeah.
instead.
I think the most that we really had to do was line up someone at the school to open up the shed to let the fireworks discharger set up. It wasn't too hard.
It's probably easier to book somebody on off weekend over the 4th.
It is way easier.
Yeah.
Is it cheaper though, or no?
So we had pyrotechnics prior and we just weren't spending enough. They pretty much just dropped us. And then, Jason got to hear the story of finding the fireworks out in a random field in a shipping
Wondered if you're-
container. Yeah, 2 years ago. And, then Gary Knutson from Centerville had volunteered to shoot them off for us. He is hanging up his sparklers. And he has passed it down to another gentleman who is willing to do it for us.
Tyson, the fire department used to do it, back in Elwood. There was 2 or 3 guys that got like certified in it.
I believe this gentleman from Centerville is a volunteer fireman.
Duly
So-
handed off.
Yeah.
There's.
Well, there's some equipment that they use too, cause I've watched,
Electronic
it's all electronic and,
on an app.
they're not lighting fuses, they're
Yeah.
pushing
Push
buttons and, if they have the ones that are synchronized, it's all synchronized on that controller.
So maybe we bring Shania in and whoever else she wants and have that discussion with her. I don't know.
But like our chamber in Hayward used that as a fundraiser, like pass the hat, they had people sitting at the gate when you go into the parking lot.
Yeah.
People would volunteer, there wasn't a cost, but you had the ability to donate if you wanted to.
And that would be used for the next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So out where I camp in the large town of Geddes, they have that too. As you come in,
Yeah.
it's their saddle club that puts on the fireworks display and they're like, if you have $1, donate $1. And that display is very, very nice. So moving on, women entrepreneurs, the same, they're requesting the same $1,500, and that is just to continue with the planting of the flowers and decorating for Christmas and the holidays downtown. Faith in Action is increasing by $1,000, and that is pretty much just because their need has increased for everything from food, personal hygiene, the crisis fund assistance, which is utilities. I have had a conversation with Shelley, and when they use that money for the utilities assistance, that is a Beresford resident. That's not anyone outside. So it's money coming right back to us. What else did she have? They do the Angel Tree backpack program. I know the backpack program, maybe you, Kayla, you even know how useful that is with the school. The Beresford Community Cupboard is staying at $4,000. The same. Just provide more food.
I would say one more anecdote for those two in particular is, the last couple of weeks, there's been a lot of conversation about SNAP benefits disappearing from the federal government right now on November 1st. So I don't know if that affect them even more now. Would anticipate they probably have more demand. Who knows where that goes with the shutdown?
So the grand total is $91,500, which is an increase of $17,000. I know one year we went around and around. I think we spent over an hour on subsidies. And finally, the board came to an agreement of $65,000. And so we put $65,000 as the total, and we just started putting numbers in until it balanced to 65. That seemed to work because that was a really long night. Mike, maybe you even remember that.
I do remember that.
Was that 22% increase?
It's 22% increase.
This is,
Yeah.
But not everybody's getting it. It's,
Right.
can you go back up to the education, the community education?
can you and answer this? What's the overall? Where are we at budget? The whole total budget? Are we, what percentage? Are we higher, lower?
3.295,293 versus last year's, no, that's total budget. Versus last year's, 3,085,990.
Where are you looking?
So if you go to that ordinance 25 versus 26, it should be the second page of that. So we're below $211,000 from,
Well, you had some significant cost of last
Yes,
year with the
yes.
building.
the shop,
Yeah.
the street.
So overall, the full budget, we're looking at 211,000 less.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if you were to take that, the amount of special projects that drove that up. Overall, we're higher,
Mhm.
but it's lower because there aren't as many one-time or special
Yeah.
projects.
Right.
Correct.
Good point.
So we can either knock this one out or and to finish up with the library and planning and zoning.
Might as well rip the Band-Aid off.
Okay, who's gonna throw a number out there?
So the ComEd one again, I'm sorry,
No, you're good.
that's like by far the biggest line item increase. And it's just because they had the shortfall.
They've never been able to be in them. They're always chronically in the red.
So in previous years, they have submitted their subsidy as the community education. And this year they did submit it as the Watch Puppy preschool.
Why is the preschool not free like it is in houses for? Why, I mean, why do we do it for? Is it different if it would be in?
I mean, it's subsidized in Alcester, so it's free to the citizens, but it's paid for by the city of Alcester. It would be interesting to know what the school's contribution is. Because
So it's, if you refer to that email, there is their financial report attached to that
Mhm.
email, and I did see that the school is putting in $3,000.
3,000 to our 40,000 they're asking for.
I don't know, I mean, it's just a line item as other income, says Beresford Schools, 3,000. I don't know if the school is paying for utilities of the building. Which is electric, water,
Who
sewer,
owns the bill?
garbage, natural gas.
Building, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, I would imagine they are. Does this come down to that part of that discussion we were having last night, Eli?
Yeah, I mean, so number one, childcare, we have to support childcare in any way we can. I would like to feel comfortable that what we give is being matched by the school. I mean, that's question number one, is what does the school district give? You know, there's three items on here that, or there's two at least, that support childcare, and that's Bright Beginnings and PRCE. You know, we have to continue to fund them so that we've got options in town. And I mean, that's a, $12,500 jump. I mean, I don't know that I feel like they've clearly articulated why yes, they've been insolvent, but they've always been insolvent.
That's what concerns me, if I'm being honest, outside looking in,
Mhm.
is, again, I'm not saying it's not worthy, but you're insolvent. What are you doing to remedy that? How are you doing that besides asking for an increase? Hopefully, there's other steps that are being taken with that.
There's a fair amount of the expenses are offset by grants. And quite honestly, within the several of the projects that are encompassed by BRCE. In years past, has been an individual that was involved that had a grant writing experience. It does not exist now. And I'm not sure that within any of these projects that are, this one in particular that is has council representatives as part of that committee and is established to oversee these things for the city. If there's a glaring need, in my opinion, within people who are involved with them, is a grant writer. And I think, and I don't know if that's come from the discussion, with the childcare coordinator to have that potential, that ability, but it's not going to be an immediate fix. That's the problem. We're talking about, and the initiative that the mayor has is not going to fix things in January. It's going to fix things maybe in January of 27. At the same time, this request for community ed was the same as last year. They were looking for a pretty steep bump, and we said no. We went down, and I think we either kept it at 27.5 or there may have been $500 increase or something, but they made a similar request last year, which was.
Yeah, we've held them at 27.5 since
Right.
23.
Yeah, but the request for
Yeah, was
last year was around 40,000, yeah.
And they do have a request in the Ofsted Foundation for a significant grant, a higher grant than they've asked for in the past.
Yeah,
That's an unknown, and I don't know whether there's no way to guarantee that they'll get that money. They've received as much as $40,000 per year from the Ofsted Foundation. I mean, this is one component of childcare and early education. I'd like to be able to support them, at the same time, bumping the subsidy request up almost 25% is. That's not feasible. That's not sustainable.
But they'd still be involving her,
Hmm.
full of water, won't they?
Yeah, they'd still be. So I'm,
Well, is this what they're asking us? I mean, pretty much to cover this, what they've lost.
I didn't hear you, what you said.
on the last page of the packet that Lane sent. On the PRC document,
Back.
Sounds like.
there's got a facsimile. Um,
It's probably some solicitor wanting us to go on vacation.
there's
I haven't heard it sound.
so on the profit and loss. Sarah, which is page 16 of 43. There are some numbers that show their overall financial liabilities.
I mean, that was for 2024, but
Yeah. And it shows that they essentially they were 36,000 short. 36,000. What's the
98.
36,980 short. So they couldn't even cover operations.
I mean, they did go down one person, I
Mhm.
think an employee maybe this year.
Well, they're losing their current lead. She's just recently tenured her resignation.
No, I meant teacher wise.
Oh.
They went down a teacher.
If I remember right, they
His head
took
is done.
2 employees that were full-time
And made 'em-
made them part-time, but kept
Mhm.
both of them on.
Yes. And then that Head Start is still in there. But it looks like there was $46,000 of grant use as well.
Yes, it says so on that same document, subsidy income 37,500.
But this isn't all just for lunch coffee. This is.
No, because that 37.5 is 10 for baseball and
Mhm.
softball, and then 27.5 for.
Just out of curiosity, seeing as you've been so involved with the daycare, has anyone done a cost survey to see if the daycare costs are
Yeah, we wildly undercharge in our.
undercharged?
Under
Mhm.
drastically across the board,
Okay,
right beginnings.
this is the first time I've heard that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 25% maybe, I think that's
Yeah,
fair.
it's a significant number.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunately one of the things that will probably become a recommendation of our first round with the consultant is that we're gonna have to raise fees. Nobody's gonna like that, and we're gonna
No.
get some. We're gonna have some very unhappy customers.
That happens with everything.
Yeah, but you have to raise fees in order to be able to provide care for more people. And
I mean, I'm assuming their bill has gone up for food immensely.
And
yes,
salaries.
and they actually
I
had
mean, it's understandable. I
Mhm.
mean,
I don't think you get grants for lunches, so.
yeah, and I think there was a temporary lapse in that. I
Oh.
believe it's back, but. Yeah, a lot of their food program is subsidized.
I think that's one of the issues with Bright Beginnings Daycare. They had. Where did I see it? She had noted that they had funds coming in to help with the expenses of food, and that was cut. Just visiting with one of our staff members that has their kids in a Sioux Falls daycare. They have to bring their lunch to daycare.
I was gonna tell you that's.
Yeah, I mean, that comes with its own subset of challenges, because of course you've got nut allergies and other crazy things like that, but.
Mhm.
There are things that we're going to recommend. So the second half of the consulting engagement will be. The consultant Jeff Andrews working specifically with Bright Beginnings on ways that they can be more efficient and. Better able to manage their finances. And yeah, but when we look at Watch Puppy and we look at Bright Beginnings, they do not charge enough.
Mhm.
And. So.
And I know as a mom,
Mhm.
daycare expenses were not fun to pay, but it was something I knew that goes right along with diapers and.
The statistic that people are using across the US right now, that if you have two working adults in the house, one of those two salaries goes to pay for child.
Mhm.
And that's a very sobering thought, because that,
And it's unfortunate that one of them didn't stay home and open up a daycare to bring in. A few kids, even, you know, if they had 3 kids, bring in 3 more kids just to supplement the
Right.
income. But Kayla, you've been down that road, you know.
I know, it's not easy.
Mhm.
And it depends on if you're licensed with the state or not too. That's a big thing too. Do you want to give up some of the things that you have to go to the state? I
Mhm.
mean. And there's stuff that I would like, I didn't go to the state because I've liked some of the stuff that I had that I wanted to keep. I don't know too, and I know this is probably more for like a daycare meeting too, but if you could maybe get more employers by, you know, some of the moms that stay home but don't work outside of the home, if they came and worked, but you gave them a discount on their childcare, maybe you could at least get 7 more spots filled,
Yeah,
you know, because it's 1 to 7. I don't know.
Well, we're not gonna solve that tonight.
No, you're not.
so I mean, I think we have some questions before we're comfortable. I mean, I'd like to be able to set some of these numbers tonight, but at the same time, I think we've got a few open-ended questions. You know, why is the schools match so low? And
I mean, is it something that you can match what they are?
Are they figuring they're paying salaries too, or?
well, out of their total income. Their total income last year was 92,000, their total expenses were 240, or I'm sorry. Almost 300. Yeah. Yeah, I just,
their income didn't even cover their wages. Or, yeah, barely covered their wages.
They don't wanna, or they wanna go down on pricing for the registration, but I mean, I don't know that that's the right answer either, but.
do we potentially set a cap for the subsidies at 75,000? And then adjust? Um,
$500 more than we budgeted last year.
yeah. Still a $500 increase, but
So the senior citizen program, if we, you know, just pay for the tiles and the labor, 4,500
yeah, what was the extra 1,500 for there?
labor, 3,000 for the tiles, to
Mm.
purchase the tiles, and 1,500 to have someone install.
Oh,
What's the remaining 1,500 that they're asking for the 6?
It's a city building,
It is.
did any of our guys put the tiles in or no? I mean, is it like this?
So I know the city staff like mows it and does snow removal, but I don't know if they go inside the building.
What was the remaining 1,500 they're asking for?
Mhm.
Is that on your note? Right?
Yeah.
3,000 plus 1,500 is 4,500. What's the remaining 15 that they're asking? It doesn't say.
It doesn't say.
So we could drop them 1,500 is what you're saying? And pay for the ceiling tiles?
Just 4,500.
Yeah. Thoughts on that? cut 1,500 out of theirs. Pay for the ceiling tiles and everything they're asking for. It's an improvement to our building anyway.
Yeah,
What have they used the money for in the past, does it say?
Last year they bought a freezer and a
freezer.
refrigerator, and then they were going to, do some concrete for the outdoor patio. I don't know if, have you been in the building lately? Did they do concrete? Okay.
I don't feel like they did, but.
Okay. I guess-
the last weekend.
Yeah, last time I was in there, I didn't go to like the south side of it.
Yeah. I guess
they
it
did
is.
flooring last year, one of the recent years, and
And I think they painted too.
yeah.
Could they have other odds and ends that they need that 1,500 for? I mean,
Well, in 23, they asked for 3,000. In 24, they asked for 3,000.
obviously they're giving us very specifics for the one, but
Mhm.
is there anything?
What was the
else?
one for 3,000
Yeah.
back in 2024?
I just,
Just their overall.
Just to help.
I mean, how much rent, I mean, how many, do you know how many times it's been rented out?
I don't.
No.
Well, they said, yeah, they had it 2024 rentals, must be 36 for $3,600.
So $100
Per
for
time.
rental.
I think if we set a cap of 75,000. And reduce the senior citizen center by 1,500. Reduce PRC by 10. Reduce the BBSA by 2,000. Chamber by 1,500. And Faith in Action by 1,000, that gets us to 16,000. Which would essentially be 75,000.
And then tell the chamber if we're willing to negotiate on more money if they take over the fireworks. It's just silly that they don't, that'd just be something the chamber does. You're talking to your members, have them donate
So,
for a fireworks display.
actions of people
I
6.
mean, I'd toss in $20 if they were passing a hat.
Their heads have been in other places getting rolling again, so I can understand that,
You're right.
you know.
They have their feet under them now, well, they're getting one.
So senior citizen,
Cause the fireworks has to stay, right? You said at 45?
Yeah.
kind of want to be the Grinch right now and say we don't need fireworks, we need childcare. I know exactly what social media would turn into if I did that.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, we have to put real priorities on top.
Maybe we could have your neighbors go to the football field and shoot off fireworks.
We can invite the Alcester finance officer over because he
Yes,
spends between
Yes,
$10,000
he
and
does.
$30,000
out
on
of his
fireworks.
personal.
Yes.
Wow.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
last
he
year's,
donates it all.
this last year's display was markedly less impressive than the year before. And I don't know if that was in the way that it was, it seemed like it was really in slow motion, but
Ours or theirs?
ours.
Ours.
And we actually went over budget on the fireworks this last year by $670.
The price per minute.
It didn't show up in the air.
Yeah, I think, was it humid that night too, I don't know.
See, the minute that we take away something like fireworks, every last line item on the budget will be overly scrutinized.
Oh, you're gonna do this, but we can't have this.
Yeah. I mean, they would question, why does Kelly need a new pressure washer? Why do we need more asphalt? Why do we need this? We need fireworks.
Mhm.
Yeah, we should talk to the school before we. decide anything more, see if they can't contribute a little bit more, knock what they want from us down a little bit, and then we can still have the fireworks and not compromise on the daycare.
Yeah,
That is an ongoing discussion with the school. With the childcare, they're part of that task force.
Make sure,
That,
what's the school hinting at? That you're in talk?
yeah, I think my belief is that, if the school can come up with $15,000, the city finds $15,000, which of course we're in the middle of trying to find more money, but we add that to the current childcare lead position, we relabel that position as a childcare resource coordinator, then that person becomes the single person in town that's focused on building out capacity for childcare. So you take that salary up quite a bit and you'd add responsibilities.
Elaine, are you running a total on your new, on W?
yeah,
Yes.
Where is it?
75. Oh,
So 75 is what we're aiming for. We're at 52.
but you haven't pulled down the other ones that are gonna keep flat.
The 6,000.
We're at 82. That's what you're wondering.
So which one am I missing?
Community bus service, you gotta pull that 6,000 over.
Okay.
And the beginnings, you gotta pull over.
I would pull over 6, yeah.
Oops.
We're really taking it up on that.
Yeah.
Svagen fireworks display.
Okay, so just a quick little note. Every year I have to reach out to a couple of these subsidies to say, hey, you haven't used your subsidies yet. We're getting to the end of the budget, turn it in. Faith in Action was one, and she turned hers in. The Cemetery Association, I always have to follow up with them. I just don't want to get into the next year and be like, well, hey, I didn't get my money. They come to you, the board, and then we're kind of in a pickle of like, well, yeah, you were approved for it, but you missed the deadline. So 2 years ago, when I send out the application for subsidies, I have a timeline, and it is exactly everything you need to do for the entire year. And it simply says January 1, you can come in and you can ask for your money. I'm tired of reaching out to them and being like, money. But then at the same time, I don't want them coming in the door saying you approved it and we're into the next budget cycle.
Is there something on there that says you have to get by
It's just within that
year?
that year.
So you think maybe drop it by $500 for Donnie and
You're saying it's just not a high priority for
So
them.
it's the community bus has not asked for it, and the cemetery, and then Faith in Action, you'll see the request at Monday's meeting.
Is it for the full? Or whatever?
Yeah, they never don't ask for the full amount. They always ask for the full amount.
So like the cemetery, you could just go to 1,000, you think?
Yeah,
Sorry, what was it?
1,000.
The cemetery, you could just go to 1,000, and then the bus, what do we give the bus service? 6. Mhm. Do you know how much they actually use or what they know?
I used to see them in town a lot, and I don't know, but they have a bus barn here in town by Muller Auto.
Yeah, and I know like last year we had a couple kids out in preschool that were gonna ride it, but then at first they're like, no, that's not what it's for. But then they did end up bringing a little girl a couple times in the morning because her parents were either working or sleeping or vice versa. It'd just be interesting to see how much it is used, I guess. Is that public knowledge or whatever they?
Are we the only ones that are subsidizing them?
If you look at the They don't really give much for of where their money's coming in from.
Well, I know they charge their riders,
Mhm.
and depending where you're going, it can be anywhere from $20 to $40.
Yeah.
And my parents, we were trying to get my mom to use it, of course she would. That was beneath her to ride on the bus, so. Her kids were. We
Capable?
existed to
Yeah.
drive her around.
Says they received $17,700 in match funds, which that's what they're calling the request.
Which one was that, the first one?
No. Here it is.
I mean, what is, what are they?
No.
How much are they paying?
So on your new column W, if you were to plug in women entrepreneurs and the community covered,
Where's that put us at then? Yeah, plug in 1,500 there. And 4,000 there.
yeah, 75.
And what did you take away? $500?
Yeah, I'm just, no, that single.
Yeah.
So that reflects a reduction on senior citizens. PRCE, baseball. Cemetery Association by 500. And then, yep, by 1,500 there. And by 1,000 there.
Just got a quick question, that Beresford Baseball Association, could we drop that by 2,500? I mean, what would that do?
I already took 2,000 out of it.
Oh, you did?
Mhm. It was.
Oh, okay. Well,
Mhm.
So practical experience tells me that when the coaches accept these payments, they use them to pay for. So they don't, it's not payment per se, it's payment funds that they use to invest in equipment and to register for tournaments, yeah.
Okay, but
So
their salaries are only,
the women entrepreneurs, I know they mean well, and I know they want the downtown to be looking nice. But we're not out putting flowers at Ace Hardware or Sunshine or Lewis or Casey's either.
and is that something the chamber could?
Is Serena part of the women entrepreneurs? No, okay.
We don't put a Christmas tree out
I
there.
know she,
No, they pay their own stuff.
okay, I was interesting.
I mean, is that something the chamber could do?
As a business owner, I know we're the city, but we do all of our flowers out here. We don't rely on the women entrepreneurs. I mean, it's the same money, but we do it. I know like Freeburg Nelson, they do their own flower pot. For Savings Bank does their own flower pot.
I mean, that might be one thing, a task that we could accomplish through engaging a pool of ready and willing volunteers. I know they need some resources, but
Do they need 1,500? I don't know. And maybe, I mean, like last year we did Christmas ornaments or like a Christmas display. They were $100 each, so maybe they have 15 containers that they do at $100 each. I don't know.
Where's their?
Yeah, and the fireworks too, I just keep going back to that. People complain about how it's not very good display. So they complain about that. They complain when we don't have it on the 4th. If we just did away with it altogether and just be like, somebody else can take it over and put on a better display, then you're wrong to do it. And we'd have to be ready to
Defend it.
accept that fight. But people were mad when we closed the liquor store too. We were subsidizing, we were subsidizing that for how many years?
Yeah.
But this also says like for this women It says the funds also are used for holiday treats for special events in and around Beresford. That's what the school also does for a community event. They bake. I don't know what the gift bags are to the nursing home, but do they have the First Savings Bank back in Britain does something for the nursing home? They have a tree.
So I think, I don't know if for savings here in town still does, but they used to have where,
I mean, it
you
was
could
like,
adopt a resident at
Yes.
Christmas time and,
Mhm.
yeah. And they had a little wish list that they did, but I do not know if they still do that or not.
What if we cut it back to $1,000 and pulled 500 out?
I mean, even 750.
Have it?
I don't know. I mean,
I don't know, I'm just throwing numbers out, I don't know. Where would we move that money to?
Yeah, I mean, we are at 75, but.
If you do.
But you're willing to help
Square
the-
last year.
are you willing to put more?
No, I
towards the
mean,
day-
move the 750 to somewhere else that's asking for it, that we feel justified.
I mean, would that be better at the daycare?
Yeah, I'd say move it to daycare.
I mean, I'd be willing to move it to daycare.
Or we can just do 74.5, you know,
I mean.
if they
that's-
didn't ask for it, you know. We're just setting ourselves up for next year to
You
match
mean for
it.
the daycare or? Oh. Oh. okay.
But we have to be,
Senior citizen.
Yeah,
I think we have to get it in our mindset that we are gonna have to contribute more to the
Then they got a
childcare.
$1.
Or your chamber, I mean,
Not.
you got a group that's trying to
Yeah, you don't want to distance
Trying to
everybody
get-
down, right?
get active.
So let's give the chamber,
Let's take 500 from women entrepreneurs and give it to the chamber. Cause that pluses them up from last year, but doesn't quite meet their request this year. And I think much in the same way, when you've walked into the Pierce Area Foundation meetings to justify a grant request there, Jane Norling, I think, has this unenviable task of looking somebody in the eye and saying, we have more requests than we have money. There's a similar circumstance here. I still think we have to have some hard conversations about fireworks. I do not support
What is the increase?
5 minutes
now
worth
for
of
percent?
$4,500.
Is that what? That's what I'm asking.
61 to 75.
10 minutes?
Which one?
oh, it should be like 2 minutes, but they drag it out to 20 minutes to a half hour.
I'm not a mathematician.
What if we tell the chamber we'll give them another 3,000 of seed money for the fireworks? And we pull that 4,500 back and that gives us another 1,500 to dole out elsewhere.
Well, I like the idea to use it as a chamber fundraiser. I mean, just, especially not doing it on the 4th. I mean, doing it on the old fashioned weekend.
And then we can say it's not.
That could be, you know, an event on their calendar, you know, they close the night out with fireworks.
and this year,
How many people actually use the Watchdog Stadium for the fireworks to watch?
Nobody. Well, I mean, I
Sit
think
in the
they
parking
do.
lot.
yeah,
They sit out at the
St.
parking,
Teresa's behind the golf course or by the golf
Yep,
course.
and then out at the, what's the one north or south of town? Methodist.
Methodist Church.
That's where they sit.
Oh,
There's a
Are
20.
you on your back patio?
At the
Well,
end of
that's-
Eli's
yeah,
Street
Off the
there.
deck.
Don't they park at the end of your?
Yeah.
But I mean, with that takes away the opportunity for, you know, you
Donation.
pass a hat, that's a long run,
Yeah.
you know, or there is no place to like come through a gate.
Maybe we want to look at moving it to the North Ball Fields
Yeah.
and block
That would force them to-
off the street by the Tri-State Ready Mix and you have to come in off Third Street. Stop them at like the Grant Street, right there, and
Does anybody collect top cans in town?
the Lions Club.
it's not nearly as lucrative in South Dakota as it is in
Oh,
Iowa.
that's true.
Yeah,
Speaking from experience.
Unless you bring them out.
Yeah, yeah, I was looking at the year to date versus the budgeted.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's a 6%.
It'd be cool to showcase the ball field.
Mhm. There's seating up there. There's parking.
People-
Maybe we could open up the
people that want-
concession stand and
people
make some.
that think they got the
Yeah,
green space there.
it would just be a mess of whatever clean up. Mhm. And hopefully we wouldn't start whatever field is planted that year on fire.
It should be green and, well, yeah, we're talking late July,
Yep. Late July.
especially if the chamber takes it over. We're just saying to Kayla, then we can say, well, it's not our fault it got moved from the fourth, we gave it to the chamber.
Defending ourselves here.
You want this $5,000, you're also taking the fireworks. Like, you want your full ask, we'll give it to you if.
And we'll give you 3,000 of seed money.
This
And
year,
they're
this year.
booked for next year.
So can we make them take it?
We can't make them, but you
I
could
mean,
say, then I guess we're not
That's
gonna,
my point. I mean, like, we've
Mhm.
already asked, they said no, like,
then we're
And
we
just
then
can
gonna
ask again,
Yeah.
saying, let's just move it to that weekend, but if.
When we
still
asked
say
them
no,
before, was it the same group?
And I think Larry's right. I think it's about
This
workforce.
group.
Oh, was this
Manpower
Yeah.
of.
I just asked them.
All that stuff.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Not
I don't
so much
know,
the date.
cause their excuse was they didn't have enough manpower. But I don't know
Yeah.
what it really
Takes
takes for manpower.
To put on the fireworks display?
Yeah. I don't know what they thought it
Oh.
took. So maybe I could have another conversation with them. and
Yeah, maybe
say-
they thought they had to have somebody who,
Yeah, and I said that we have the person booked for 2026 already, but.
For the 4th of July.
Mhm.
I need to visit with her on the tree lighting stuff anyway. I can put that on the agenda.
So then would we tell them, we'd give them, what are we giving them, the 4,000 right now? We'd give them an additional 3 if, for the fireworks. They just would have to start doing a fundraiser for it. And I think that's a great idea, move it out to new ball fields, and then people gotta somewhat move out there to go see it.
We could showcase the ball fields and the new wastewater treatment
So
facility.
they'll be from.
And the concession stand.
In by the cement plant. Well, they finished that today. I know they have one lane left.
I don't know. Well, I think the first wave.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not the second.
Well, when they took,
There's not baseball.
when they took gate for the state baseball, they
um,
were taking it out by the cement plant.
yeah,
I mean,
for,
yeah,
Was there
I
some
will fuck on
Yeah.
that.
that there's,
fashion weekend?
there was a tournament.
that just gets kind of
And then
dangerous.
maybe those people would stay in on it. I don't
Yeah.
know.
To avoid paying, and you don't have to.
You don't have to.
You know, there would be people
Yeah.
in town that would complain about having to go out there and mingle with the baseball and softball crowd, but
Well, maybe there's a coffee truck out there. Maybe there's.
Yeah, the ice cream truck.
The Dakota Fizz, I mean, they could all, maybe even they park in the parking lot, like the Flannel Fling
Mhm.
and.
Shows Sandlot,
Yeah,
something like that on
on the
a movie
field.
projector.
Mhm.
They usually do that Thursday night,
Or
right?
do they?
Mhm.
Mhm.
Sounds like
do
a
those
conversation with the
businesses get
chamber.
anything to, like. You know, like for the flannel flying, do they pay anything to like have their vehicle parked there? I
No.
mean, it's all profit for them.
Mhm. I don't know if they charge them to bring in their vendor, like. There was a vendor fee to
Yeah.
participate in it or not.
Yeah,
I do
but
not.
I'm just curious.
I'm assuming
that
if
could be
they are-
something that the chamber could also,
Yeah,
I mean, they don't have to charge a ton, but. They could also charge them, and because otherwise it's pure profit for that business.
yeah,
Right, and I'm assuming they're part of the chamber, so they put their
Yeah.
money in as a chamber member, I'm assuming.
Maybe,
Well,
I mean,
there were a
maybe
lot of
that's what
out of
it
town
is, yeah.
veterans.
Yeah, no, I know, but in town.
Yeah,
I don't know who's all members of it, I guess, but, yeah.
yeah, pull the 4,500 out and maybe add it as an additional 3 if the chamber takes it on. And then that gives us another 1,500 to move elsewhere if we want. What do you guys think?
Or you could just go back to the
The Wildcats,
2025
they may
budget.
not wanna take it. So they look.
So could you leave it there and then have an ongoing conversation with them?
Yeah. And then if.
Yeah, cause right now, we're just concerned about the bottom line number, right?
Right.
And if we.
Yeah, we can
Yeah.
move it around, yeah, it's just how much are we giving out on subsidies?
Yeah.
And if we decide on 75, we can tweak it.
Right.
Yeah.
If,
I think the 75, that's an increase of 14 from last year. And yeah, to tweak it as we, because I do think that, you know, that would be a good. I'm just envisioning the old fashioned weekend, you know, to be something that could be the finale of it, and
Mhm.
you said, especially if you move it out to the ball fields where you can have somebody that, you know, not necessarily charge anything, but like you said, ask for donations.
And bring,
The guys
Money.
who can afford it can throw 20, 50.
Right.
The people that just have pocket change can come.
and it would open up businesses if they wanted to go out there. I mean, I'm assuming they'd be down at
The park,
the park, but yet then that's extra for them to.
I think these are all great ideas, and I think despite what we do, given our best intentions, people will still probably have comments.
Yeah, well,
It's the nature of the game.
then run for city council.
Hand them a flyer, here's a QR code, here's the application.
If you wanna be part of the decisions instead of complaining, run for council.
Two people I've said that to didn't seem to like it.
No?
Well, then maybe they shouldn't come from.
It was just a suggestion. We'd always love to have you at city council.
Mhm.
No, I'm too busy. Compare calendars?
Yeah, no kidding.
carry on,
Yeah, I'd say we're good.
library. So. Jane has an increase of $29,060. She estimated heavy on her part-time salaries.
We also think that the last year's budget of the 68 wasn't quite accurate. We kind of decided, because I think she's already at 65 maybe.
yeah, she's at,
So if that would have been at like maybe 80, I don't know what she said she's already at like 65.
yeah, she's almost at 66.
So this is actually, I mean. So because you see the difference between like 2024 and 2025, we were talking, it should have probably been about 80 for the 2025 budget, so really it would only be like a $10,000 increase. Does that, I mean, it's kind of what we were looking at the other night. I mean, it looks like a big jump,
Yeah,
but if she's already at 65 and this is August or
October, November.
yeah, November, you know,
Saying it's not enough.
we still have 3,
not this year.
4,
Not the 25 budget.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, I see what you're saying.
but she's already at 65
Right.
and last, or you know, this was the
Most of the
time.
increases her salary.
You wanna point out the carpet.
Yeah, and so then, so underneath building and improvements, she's looking to replace the community room carpet. She originally had 9,000, in here, but the library account is willing to cover half, 4,500, so we did reduce that to 7,500 and I sent her a message saying, that we would ask her to contribute from the library account. The library account is funded by like Union County, Lincoln County, Clay, I don't know if Turner's in there too, but. So that. It's pretty much Jane's. She did reduce the tape CDs and microfilm just because society is going to the digital. And they're not ordering as many CDs as they have in the past. Any questions on the library?
what? Do you know what encompasses electronic materials?
I believe there's the Libby app,
Okay, I don't know if it
and
was
then if she wants to.
audiobooks or if it
Yeah,
was like
yep,
computer equipment or, okay.
So yeah, it would be like all of your audio tapes or CDs on, or books on
Yeah, let's.
CDs, yeah,
For those like licenses? Or,
actually purchasing it,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, it's free.
and actually, I think we're gonna do like a
this
newspaper
is,
people.
It's kind of a pain in the butt though, when you've got reserve.
This is the app through the.
Yeah, you got reserve books, which,
Okay.
and then they run out.
And there's
You're like, wait a second, I've got 2 hours.
40,000 books, it's like Audible,
But-
only it's.
She can help.
I'm going through the Brown book right now.
If you call her, she can help you.
So that, I didn't know if it was for those subscription dues or for.
No,
other-
that, there's, I know she has a where she pays to be able to have the movies. There's a cost to be able
Okay.
to have them in the building. I can't remember what code that's under.
So you don't physically have to go into the library, you can access the entire thing from your phone.
Yeah. No, in searches and so forth, but
That's it.
Yeah.
I was unaware of it.
it's.
A lot of
it's
people
been
are
5
unaware of
years
it.
now, 5 or 6.
Yeah,
The library consortium,
yep.
yeah.
Nice.
And if she doesn't have it, she can order it. Because you're probably not the only one that wants it.
Okay.
Like you need to read that.
It's 21st century like.
Dave Goggins entered me.
Yeah, why?
Just, it's pretty entertaining.
Yeah.
You kick out of it.
Planning and zoning,
Oh, really?
we are reducing their budget by $3,528, and that is due to the other professional services. When we hired Joel Johnson, we didn't know what to expect, and we kind of over estimated. And so we're bringing that down by the 3,500. And that's pretty much the only change. And
How active is he?
He's responsive in the 3 weeks I've been here.
yeah,
We're working through a couple things right now, like,
Okay,
and I'm getting a feel for what to do with a couple steps and
okay,
learning.
Yes.
I hope he's gonna be very.
yeah.
the stress on the staff, it has been wonderful
Oh, I
because
can
people
imagine.
come in and they want to talk to us and it's like, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to talk with Joel. And it's so nice because, you know, these are our neighbors, we know them and we
Mm.
don't wanna. It's so nice just to Joel being someone on the outside and just having a hard conversation to get things resolved.
But he's a little bad cop. He's sent out 3 letters since I've been here.
Mhm.
And are people responding? Cause we
Yeah.
actually put some teeth into this a couple years ago, didn't we, where we could actually find people and have we gotten to those?
So we are getting to the point of a fine.
We had that conversation yesterday.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good.
What we want that to look like, how that
Hmm.
look.
Okay, so now if we go back to the second tab, and this is the revenue, that is coming in. So,
Second page.
yes, or is it the third page maybe, because I think
Yeah.
Yep.
Active.
So this is the general fund revenue of the first pack, the one that we've been working on, yeah.
The third page.
Third page. Gotcha.
Are we gonna do that all?
So we have to finish the general fund first. So we are looking at an increase of $55,365 coming for revenue. General property taxes, if everyone pays their taxes, we will hopefully get that dollar amount. We are banking on sales tax increasing. The law enforcement grant. So you saw the expense side on the police fund. Now on this side would be the grant money coming in. So that is reflected there at 31,250. Then the grant for the playground equipment, you saw the expense on the park side, and here is the grant money being received on the revenue side. Everything, we kind of averaged out the swimming pool, fees. We didn't get as much as we anticipated, so we did reduce that a little bit. I think, 2 years ago, we had the Canton swimming pool was shut down and we had a lot of patrons from Canton coming to our pool. So it kind of skewed the number a little bit. Rental revenue, there is an increase because the Beresford Tell is now paying office rent for this building. And then, one thing we wanted to ask you, so right now, does everyone understand the liquor and malt beverage 10%, 2%, and how that works, or do you want me to explain it?
It would-
Maybe good to
I was
explain.
gonna say, I
Okay.
don't understand, but.
So all of the liquor license and malt beverage license, businesses in town, when they purchase product, we get a copy of their invoice. If it is a liquor product, there's a 10% charge that is submitted to the city monthly. And if it is a malt beverage product, it's a 2% charge that is brought to the city. We collect those funds, and then at the end of the year, those funds are transferred over to the fire department. Right now, everybody that has a liquor or malt beverage license is paying this except for the bridges. Do we want to start having the bridges contribute to this? I did an estimate using last year's numbers, and if they contribute, they would need, they would be putting in $6,600 to the 10%. And then they would be doing 2,350 to the 2%. And that's using last year's numbers.
Feel like Ben would just raise prices to cover that additional cost, and most people in town think that the bridges is too high already for their beverages.
Just thought I would bring it to you because they're
Yeah,
only
It's a
licensed.
valid discussion. I don't know what everybody else thinks, but
I mean, if you make every other business pay for it,
this is a city-owned business.
right?
I think some of the thought behind it, Mike, was it reflects, that's his choice if he's gonna do that or not, but I think it reflects more accurately what we're actually doing as far as an accounting purpose of alcohol. sales.
Everybody's treated the same.
Mm-hmm. Everyone's treated fairly.
Is that money
I
coming
mean,
back
if
to
he
you also
shortfall,
as a city?
you know,
So,
it
but it's
doesn't
coming out of the
reflect
golf course fund.
us
It
from
would
Peter.
come out of the golf course fund and into the
Right.
general fund.
Yeah,
No,
cause then it goes to our fire department.
And
So
then
we
the fire
take it a step
department's turning
further,
around and
it's us.
paying the electric and the telephone back for the loan.
Which then pays a shortfall of if the fire, or if Bridges has a shortfall.
Yeah,
So,
vicious cycle.
again, it was just something to highlight as far as.
no, those are all valid points. I just was.
I would be curious like what cost would go to too, cause I've had people comment to me, it's more expensive at the golf course than it is.
Hmm.
At other places.
Yeah.
And
I hear that a
so
lot.
if then it increases it even more, are you gonna lose business? Are you gonna, I don't know, like you said, a vicious circle, but.
And this is something, that, we could revisit on too. I mean, it's just something that we came across that.
And this is something that Ben should be given a heads up on,
You don't have to be.
just- and have that discussion. So he could
I
budget
mean,
it
there's
as well.
places are spending. That's another reason why a lot of people don't go there.
Yeah.
I mean, most community golf courses aren't though, I mean, like.
I
Not
mean,
like,
what he's doing is great.
yeah,
Don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
he's really turned that around. I'm happy, but
Are they the only community business that, yeah, so they're the only,
They're the only license holder that is not participating in the 10% and 2%.
so when the liquor store was up and running,
They did not,
they did not either.
but they also were getting all the 10% and 2% too.
Oh, that's where it went.
Mhm.
That was the destiny.
Yeah, which made no sense at all. But
Yeah, cause that inflated their numbers. To make it look like.
Yeah, your competitor is helping you with your business.
Yeah,
We can revisit, but just something to think about.
So is that with bends or is that without bends?
It's without.
Without.
Um. I'm gonna go to the sale of fixed assets. We still have, anticipation of selling the 101 and 103 North Third Street, so we plug that number in here. And then the transfers in, to make everything balance. We're asking the electric department for 350,000, the telephone department for 325,000, and the solid waste for 27,500. Any questions or concerns about the revenue for the general fund?
and it's a decrease of 245,000 because we don't need that,
Correct.
so that all stays in the general fund, or where's that extra money? They keep that in? They put that in the bid? The money they would be,
Oh, yeah,
Each of their
Yeah.
enterprise.
yep,
Yeah.
enterprise, they could put into fit or.
okay, they get to keep that then?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. We good?
Yeah, so the main difference on the revenue end is gonna be the transfers in.
Yeah,
So I'm proceeding.
Which is a positive.
Yeah.
mhm,
It's not like tax revenue now.
yeah.
So while you're celebrating that, we shouldn't discuss the Lewis and Clark rural water fees in the year ahead.
Electrical and all that, yeah. Thanks, Larry.
Yeah. Okay,
No, we should wait.
do we need a break or do we want to keep going?
And not wrong.
I think just keep going.
Okay.
That's right.
So with the time that we're at, the general fund is our crucial thing that we need to make sure that these numbers are good to go. When we move into the enterprise, we have until the end of December to make as long as we don't change the transfer to the general fund number, we're good. So, tonight we can just do a quick go through it, or we can be more intense, but the general fund is really the one that we have to have it completed just because of the time.
So let's conduct a review.
And we can,
Maybe not
each,
necessarily get into
the
weeds.
next couple council meetings, we can clean up the enterprise funds, but I do have a couple little, things that are highlighted that I'm still working on. For example, the water expense, Jeff had put in $1,000 for the water treatment plant. We don't have a water treatment plant anymore. So I'm not sure what he's put that in there for. The Lewis and Clark added capacity charge. So we decided to do the expansion. And we are working on trying to figure out all of the details on that yet.
Is part of the water treatment plant, is that him maintaining the generators out at the wells?
Those are all shut down now.
We don't run those at all anymore.
No, those are all shut down.
Yeah.
And then like what we do have for like electricity, that's through the electric code. But
What are we doing with that building anyway? That would be just that 1,000 general maintenance? For that building?
so he hasn't even, I mean, I don't even think he's used any money out of it this year.
Which building are you talking about, Will?
Oh, the old
Police department?
police department.
Oh, yeah,
I mean, we still own that building, but I
Right.
mean,
No,
it should,
nothing's going on in there.
there's mold and stuff.
One of the comments Jerry made to me was eventually you're gonna have to address tearing that down.
Yeah,
There's a clear well in there that.
Yeah, there's different.
It sounds like clear well's in there, the testing equipment, so that's been the one point of hesitation. is that while that well is there and it's inside and it's got the testing equipment there, that's where Keith thinks it's best served. Maybe down the road, we have a conversation about where we could potentially move it. I don't know what's involved in
I don't know either.
civil engineer, ticket.
I don't get involved with the water project. I put the mains in the ground, but
Yeah.
as far as treatment and testing.
We've established tonight that Pat doesn't do asphalt nor clear wells.
Yeah.
Those are the projects we need to.
Yes. All my work, almost all my stuff that we do is in Highwood. They like concrete streets there.
They do.
You can ask me about concrete and you can answer stuff.
Hmm.
So the miscellaneous fixed asset is, this is just to finish out, the cure and replace pipelining project. I'm still working on getting that number of what we estimate, to finish that. It looks like the, wastewater treatment facility and the Seventh Street utility extension should wrap up in 25, so those numbers won't carry over into 26, but we still have the cure and place pipelining project that will hopefully finish up next summer, so I'll get that number put in there. Water revenue, I just have it highlighted, the same with what we have remaining left on the cure and place pipelining project. We'll get SRF loans, so then that same number will go into the sale of bonds and loans. So we're hoping to, at the end of 26, have a cash flow of $42,355. Moving on to the electric department.
Can't that money then go to service debt though? With the water department?
So those are already, they were line items in there for the.
Oh, those are all built in.
Yep, those are built in.
Okay.
Yep. So, if you see line, it's 44,100 principal payment. Back on the water expense.
Oh. The 44,100?
44100.
Critical moment.
Yep. So that 152,660 those are surcharges. So everyone who gets a utility bill has these surcharges that go into their revenue account, and in return, we have a 2014 SRF loan, a 2016 SRF loan, and then the Lewis and Clark GO bond. So those surcharges pay that principal payment and the interest payment on those three loans.
Didn't we pay off Lewis and Clark though?
Not yet. I believe that is,
I thought we decided to pay that off last year with money.
so this is the first original Lewis and Clark to bring the water here. There was like a true up, I think, that we paid, that I think you're referring to.
Okay. That's all right to you, Larry?
That Lewis and Clark is a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm hoping
Give me
Jason
more.
will start going to the meeting so he can, cause it's a lot.
I thought that was our final payment, that true up, so that we didn't have to pay any longer, but we do still owe money on.
I
Lewis
think
and Clark.
that was to, yeah. Yep. Are we ready to move on to the electric expense? Okay. Underneath meter repair, which is 42506. Mike increased that by $4,000, and that is. He was hoping to hire this company that comes in and tests commercial meters. They were booked for 25, and so he's got them on the books for 2026 to come in. And what they do is they just go to all the commercial meters and make sure that there's no electricity that we're losing and they're being billed for everything that they're consuming. Kind of a maintenance on meters. And then that he got a quote, and it's $6,900 a week for a company to come in and do that.
That's just commercial.
Yeah. Underneath the substation, he is looking to buy a backup battery for the west substation because the last time it was replaced was in 2017.
What line is that?
That is 4259 or 42559 substation.
Okay. That's for the old substation?
That would be the west substation, so that'd be north of Casey's.
Yeah. And the battery's $22,000.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Could run a small car.
It's a lot, double A's.
Yeah.
Rechargeable.
Um, what else did he have? The buildings and improvements, I guess I didn't have a conversation with him, but he has where it's $170,000 estimated for the SCADA system. It includes a new system, 2 PCs, and a 5-year tech support and software upgrades, installation and training designed and supported through DGR. And then he also has $25,000 in concrete for the back lot of the electric shop.
Where are we looking at for these?
Buildings and improvements, which is 43200.
Okay.
And that system, what's its task?
So that would monitor all of the entire electric system.
Okay,
It's basically the communication system.
yeah, what they
Yep.
okay, have up on the screens, okay.
I believe that he is having a lot of problems with the current system and that there's one guy that's, if I'm hearing him right, Mike, and it's not reliable and it's been a battle for the past few years.
So this would be for 5 years, is that what?
It's a 5-year tech support with the software upgrades, installation and training, designed and supported through DGR. No, it'd be a one-time. DGR is the engineer or the electric department. Machinery and auto. He is looking to, they currently have a 2012 Chevy 3500 1-ton truck that Mike typically drives. That would be handed down to the Parks Department, and looking at purchasing a 2026 1-ton truck with the brand to be determined with either a utility box or a regular box.
Is that something the parks needs?
So,
That truck is,
yeah.
I would say that's a tough truck that Kelly drives around it.
Yeah.
That 97 Ford, it's rusted out.
Mhm.
I was surprised, to be honest with you, pulling into and seeing what we got for a crew, and we have some respectable vehicles, maybe some of them that are old. That truck's pretty rough.
So is that one you would sell on the other thing, or would it just be,
Yeah, so
it's not worth
someone would
anything?
buy it.
Is that something you
Somebody will buy it.
Would
could sell on the
Purple Wave.
website?
Purple Wave.
Wave?
Is the one that the department's handing down something Kelly can use?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. But what's it have? Is that a utility box or?
No.
It's just a
like a box.
regular
Okay.
box. And then down below at the 51100 transfers out, that's the $350,000 to the general fund that I just spoke about a little bit ago. And then the transfers to reserves, he has, our name on a new bucket truck. It's currently saved for 2027, delivery. So in 25, we're gonna put $120,000 towards this truck. And then, in 26, he's got $110,000 to go towards the truck. And then the fire department will pay back $20,000 of their loan,
What does that truck cost?
300,000.
300.
You just, 1 year, you can't go and order it and get it in the same year. It's
Right.
typically a
I
3.
remember talking about
Um,
Not to run,
looking
huh?
at electric revenue. Do you want to take the 2% increase? I'm tired of talking.
I don't know a lot about it.
Okay,
I know a little bit. So, Mike and I went to Missouri River Energy, meeting today, so I'm getting a little more,
Thrown in
thrown in
the
the
pool.
fire a little more. And it's good, but, basically we are seeing increases. I'm not good off the top of my head now, is it 7%, 8%? From them, and my understanding is he did a rate study, with Missouri River Energy, and they were suggesting that rather than taking massive leaps in what we eventually charge individuals for an increase, that we do a 2% increase this year, and so that's what you calculated for revenue generation on that. I'm
And-
sorry, that's all I know
Yep, yep,
right now.
yep, no, you're good. And then last year we did a 2%
I was gonna
increase.
say we increased in July this year.
Yeah.
Was it July?
We did in January.
January, okay.
It's interesting,
3% last year.
it's interesting to hear some perspective from the Missouri River Group. Some of those that get their power from Basin, Power Cooperative instead of Missouri River, anticipate an 18% jump this year.
Hmm.
So some of our RECs in the area will see an 18% jump.
So Pat, I think it says we factored in a 3%, but I believe that we just did 2.
Okay.
Makes you wonder if soliciting data centers is a good idea. Cause they're gonna draw more.
That was a conversation that was being had.
I think the concept of a data center works well if we can bring in nuclear power, but
Right,
we can't be. We're adding to an existing system that's already going to. We're gonna have to pass costs along to consumers for data centers, which doesn't make any
right.
sense at all.
They're gonna make the residents of South Dakota subsidize the data center.
So I'm sorry, I don't know more than that. I mean, I think the concept was, how do you eat an elephant little chunks at a time rather than doing it all in one large jump on people.
Well, I mean, didn't we have an MRE presentation? And that was kind of a
Great study.
That was their
Yeah, said just-
recommendation.
small steps, and
Mhm.
we've seen that with some other projects, so.
So
absolutely.
much easier do small steps than large steps and have the entire community in here at a council meeting. And they all want your head because of
146
previous council members that, didn't look to the future and,
You raised my rates
Mhm.
15%, but it was flat for the last 5 years, but you raised my rates 15%.
So we move on to the sewer expense.
So that difference you have at the bottom of page 9 at 740, that should be 74,400, right?
So I took the revenue of 4,332,600. And took it off of the expense of the electric and it comes to $740.
The expense of the electric.
So
It's-
Mike, she's balancing the expenditure with the revenue.
Oh.
So on the
It's a
expense
north-south
page,
above.
the total is
Gotcha.
4,331,860, and then the revenue on the next page, and then the difference
Okay.
between them.
Never mind.
Yeah.
We should have known about that one.
So you-
Multi-level yes here.
We're gonna make you start doing Excel formulas pretty soon.
And I'm getting tired of talking. Sewer expense.
You're doing great, Elon.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks for all your hard work.
I appreciate it. I do really
Doing a good job.
appreciate it. Thank you. Well, we're only at 8:45. Okay, sewer. So if you see the engineer service, the 42201, last year we took into consideration the cure in place pipelining and the wastewater treatment facility engineering expenses, and we don't anticipate those. So that is a gigantic deduction. Lab testing will increase, yeah. I believe that we are required to do more testing with our new Sager system. And Pat's shaking his head, so thank you for that.
That's why the whole Sager system's there, because.
Yes,
Yeah, they
should eliminate that. They keep upping the water standards, so.
yeah,
Are making them more strict.
yep.
So are we federally required to do more or state
I
or?
believe it's state,
Or is it a key
State through federal
yeah. Coming down from the federal, but state's enforcing it.
water act is.
And then do you have to send it in?
Yeah,
Postage is going up.
yep. And everybody's postage line item went up also. If you go down to sewer lift stations, which is code 42547, he is hoping to purchase one 7.5 horsepower grinder pump. A new one is quoted at 19,800. So maintenance, repair on the sewer lifts. The electric, this is really great because the Sager system has only been up and running since mid-June. So I took a full 2 months of what they consumed for electricity and just kind of averaged it out. Last year Banner told us that they thought it was gonna be like 4,000 or $4,200 a month to run that Sager system. We are way under, so I'm hoping the 33,000 that we budgeted will cover that. The mixed miscellaneous fixed assets is again, the cure in place pipelining, that number that I need to fill out to see what's left of the project. And then if you see the principal payment and the interest payment, those again are, when you get a utility bill, there's surcharges. And we collect the surcharges and then in turn pay the SRF loans, so it's kind of a wash between. So now if we go to sewer revenue, yeah, the only thing I have left to fill out there is just the money coming in from the cure in place pipelining. If we move on to the BMTC expense. I don't think my note is correct for vehicles and equipment. Cause Austin got a new vehicle last year. Sorry, I just noticed that, so I will ask him about that. Transmission and equipment code 22310, he is increasing that just for. There's a lot of telephone language, if you can read it, of what he's looking to purchase with it. And I have a lot of faith in him that he has done, due diligence on making sure that the estimated costs of these are correct. The underground cable code 24230 is to finish the Bach housing development. Code 51105 transfer to reserves. He had put 0 in here, but it had noted that he would like to put some money away. So after kind of going through all of his numbers, we found that $40,000 we could find to put into South Dakota Fit for him in that department.
What's he looking at doing with that?
Probably future expenses that come down, that instead of having to finance something, because when we did the fiber to the home, we had put enough, we knew it was coming, so we had put enough money away in South Dakota Fit. And using the reserve funds along with a grant. We did not have to take out a loan for any of that underground.
Good.
So he's just building it back up for who knows, future
Okay.
things that come down. Buildings and repair, he is waiting to get a quote back, but would like to put, siding the garage and installing tin on the ceiling of the new garage with insulation. And then if you go down to training fees, which is 67295, he did increase that due to, he would like Jason to go to the South Dakota Telephone Association's annual conference. Do some fiber training with the guys, attend the C3 Tech Summit and an HPBX annual training. So after his, I guess we haven't done the revenue yet, but with his expenses and what he's expecting of revenue, he's hoping to end the year just shy of 25,000. So if you go to the expense side of the telephone, not the expense, the revenue side. The code 5101, which is NECA settlements, he's still working with consortia on this number, so we just kept it the same as last year. That number may decrease. He was hoping to hear back from them today, but he stopped in my office and he hadn't heard back from them yet. So there really isn't much change on the revenue side. So moving on to the solid waste, which would be your rubble site, recycling center, and garbage. The under code 42503 machinery and vehicles, Jeff would like to replace the tires on the L60 Volvo loader. So there's $10,000 in there.
Yes, they really do cost that much.
Yes,
We
we both went.
They cost that much.
Is there an extra zero in here? And then, yeah, researched a little bit and. If you go to the code 42901 garbage hauling contract, that we are in our final year, in 26, we're in our final year with Ruse Sanitation. And that is the contracted price for the year is 142,000. So we have the task of trying to figure out what we're gonna do in 27 for garbage. Cause it's everybody's fun topic to talk about,
Lots of opinions.
lots.
But we're having more success now.
We are, it's just, Judd, the new owner is struggling with staff and equipment,
Sure.
but he sure is, he's doing his best. I
Right.
mean, he's here in town late at night and back early in the morning, and
Seems like a different truck every week.
it
fixing
does,
every job.
because they're breaking down, or you see the guys, the arm is broken, so they're manually putting those carts.
He was
And they come-
sleeping in the grind parking lot one morning.
They come anywhere between 6:30 in the morning to 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So,
And I
but
don't
hey,
know if any of you follow his Facebook page, but he's had a lot of like notices like, hey, if your garbage got missed, I'm still coming, or yeah, he's trying. I sure enjoy working with him.
Good.
A lot easier to work with, but
Who
it's
did
just
you have before?
It was the
Rude.
same company, but it was the previous owner's,
Ruby Zaraf.
Ruby Zaraf. Yes,
Out of T, they lived in Teton.
yes, yes. There's a lot of people in town that are gonna have opinions about this, I think, as we get closer to this, it'll be one we'll want to handle with kid clubs, and so.
So one more item on the solid waste. The July storm did a number on our camper out at the rebel site.
Hmm.
I believe Jeff had a hefty number in here. And then we started kind of brainstorming of like, hey, what can we do? We found quite a few different campers that we could purchase for $7,000 and even maybe surplus the camper that we have now and maybe get some money out of it. And Jason sent me a text message this weekend that I about fell off my chair. He happened to be in Alcester and showed me what they had for their rebel site attendant. And I'm not kidding when it's pallets. It looks like a fort that some elementary, middle school boys put together and found a random chair and stuck it. And that is how they have their employees sit on their
More fun.
Just a garden shed with the window AC.
No, it was
That'd be the
pallets.
Taj Mahal.
Yeah, these were pallets. They had a nice Alcester Cubs sign roll.
Are you
next to
saying
it.
we're spoiling our rubble site, guys?
No, I think we're showing respect to our staff and putting them in a decent. But we found a camper that had,
No way.
that was pretty nice. I can't remember the vendor he found.
Southwest RV.
Yeah. And it'd be a nice setup for him. That is the majority of the expenses on the solid waste. And then also, the transfer out. We talked about that, last, in 25, we budgeted 30,000 and this year we are looking at 27,500. And that would go to the general fund. So solid waste revenue. Not much of an increase.
Are the current fees we're charging enough to cover everything? I mean, yeah, we're transferring 27,000 to the
Mhm.
general, but.
Was Jeff looking at maybe a different, scrap metal person that we thought maybe was gonna get us a little more?
And so that Austin found a company that bought all of our digital boxes and they did not charge us to come pick them up, where the current gentleman that comes to pick up our recycling charges us a mileage fee to come here. So I believe Austin and Jeff were gonna get together and maybe visit about looking at this different company.
But I think there's another one from the Rumble site
Yeah.
that does the metal pickup.
Mhm.
He was telling me, he thought we could get more poundage.
Cable expenses. We are going down significantly in affiliate fees. He did not explain why. I can ask him and report back on that.
Might have something to do with it, the digital, going that digital portion of the cable.
Going away, yeah, good. Mhm.
So there's fewer channels.
Mhm.
Cause there was general operating, it's. significantly too.
Mm. So the resale merchandise, he's anticipating, I mean, this is on both sides, you know, we'll purchase the equipment, but then we'll turn around and resell it and get it on the revenue side. If I had to guess, I'd say that he has plans for more surveillance systems. So after the expenses and the revenue, we're hoping to end 2026 with $3,000. And the revenue side of cable, he was unsure on the miscellaneous revenue. I just have that one highlighted yet.
Did he budget for the higher resolution cameras out at the new ball field? You know,
So would the park pay for that then?
oh yeah, I don't know.
And that was not in the park.
Cause I know Austin was demoing some new cameras that I actually could zoom in and read license plates. We had all those nice cameras out there that we bought at the time were supposed to be the best, but did us no good because we can only see blurry pictures of the vehicles going by. But Austin found some now that like zoom right in on the license plates, and so that might be something we need to ask Kelly about. If Austin's spoken to, maybe ask Austin if he spoke to Kelly about those.
Did you call them high resolution?
Yeah,
Maybe the cable office is doing a donation that I'm unaware of.
well, the ones he had were demos,
Yeah,
so I don't know where that ended up.
so, the revenue, is down, most likely due to no longer doing the digital boxes. Okay, and then moving on, so to the golf course, so this is the outside course. I have a few holes in here yet too, buildings and grounds, we don't have anything in there yet. Office supplies, he's looking to purchase a break room table and chairs for the shop. The heating and natural gas. We haven't had a year yet where we heated that shop building, so I'm really unsure. We should be getting another. We just got one. And I can kind of see what they used there and then estimate what they could possibly. Hopefully this winter, that they don't have it nice and toasty in there and you keep it warmer.
Well,
When there's two divided.
Yeah, one
sides.
side is not, it's cold storage.
and we're getting close to the point where they're gonna be taking more time off than being actually on. So I wouldn't think they should be running that much.
Yeah,
Just enough to keep them above freezing.
yeah. The other current expense is the Rainbird irrigation, that is to run their sprinklers on the golf course. The dues and membership fees, Jason would like to go to the South Dakota Golf Course Association Conference, and the registration is $550. He has been going to that for the last few years. Buildings and improvements, he would like to either purchase a lift or a pressure washer, but if Kelly's buying a pressure washer for the park, my guess is he would most likely do the lift. I don't see that they would need to. Machinery and auto. Would you like to take this one?
So when I visited with Jason and Kelly, we we're trying to get a sense of what their equipment looks like, where they're at, what the plan is with it. So we've seen this number come in at actually $216,000 for 3 different mowers. And then an additional $15,000 for that robotic mower. And I said, just based upon where our actual budget is this year, that's probably not attainable. And so Jason and I had a question about what is, really the mower he has to have to be operational, stay functional, that type of thing. And he talked about the greens mower. He said a rough mower would probably be really close second. But as we started talking through that a little bit further, we found out they actually have 3 rough mowers. One needs a new motor, which they have the motor, and one needs some electronic work. And so I asked if we could meet in the middle and purchase the greens mower this year and get the motor replaced on the other rough mower and the electronics fixed on the other one. So that actually also helped with what Kelly was asking for, was another Bobcat 0-turn mower, but he said if we had the 3 rough mowers running, then he felt that would take the place of that. So I think it's a conversation that gets us to where we need to be operational for Jason. But it also gives us the ability to start putting together a better replacement plan for capital improvement for golf course equipment. So that's one of my goals, is to work with our different department heads over the winter and get a better list of all of our equipment, what it looks like, what condition it's in, what its current value is, what its replacement value is, and start prioritizing this stuff a little bit from their standpoint, but also to help, you know, Elaine and you folks with budgeting process, so. I think Jason said, yeah, I know this was kind of like, this is everything I want to be fully functional and operational. Is my wish list, but he was happy with going with the greens mower to get rolling.
Christmas is less than 2 months away, so.
So. One rough mower needed the engine replaced. And they had the engine.
Correct.
How long was the engine there?
Did not ask that, Larry. I don't know. I don't know. He just said they got a mower.
My understanding is that there have been times where they're challenged with maintenance. Because the scope of the work that they're attempting to do exceeds their capability.
Okay.
They had people that were on staff a few years ago, but we elected not to buy the pay bump for one of the people who had this wherewithal. And that person left, and so Jason and Kelly have admitted at certain times that they struggle with some of this higher order maintenance.
Okay.
So I think an engine swap would probably be one of those.
Oh, no, I understand that, but
Yeah, I don't know.
is there anybody in town that would do it? Then it would be,
So I know that they had the electrical, which mower is that? I don't.
That was one of those rough.
Okay, they had one of them at a local person here in town. And come to find out, it needs to go to a Toro dealer.
okay, it
So
exists.
now we know that,
Yep.
so, yeah, so that's in.
So we
the
asked them
plan
to understand.
do
the
that,
value
yeah.
Or cost.
To get it there, get it started, so it's ready to go first thing in the spring.
And one thing that came up this summer, you know, in the short term, when we have equipment that malfunctions, we do have a partner 15 minutes that way that has equipment that we can borrow. Our aerator, they borrowed our aerator last year. When our greens mowers were having significant trouble this summer, they were gonna finish their mowing their greens one morning, we were gonna pick it up and mow it was a busy weekend coming up. Well, by the time we were gonna pick it up, it got fixed, so I think the one thing to look at, maybe going down the road is, instead of buying equipment, leasing equipment. You know, and that's as a long-term, like if we look at each department and their rolling stock, trucks, whatever, inland marine. Now I learned a new term today too. But if we knew, like, if they could get by on a lease program for some of this stuff, it keeps us perhaps out of some of the maintenance, you know, because I think that's one component.
So
is-
I was on a golf course board in Hayward, and ours is set up substantially different than your folks is, like, we were self-functioning. And that's actually what we did, is we got together with our Toro rep and laid out a whole plan. So our city gave us like $50,000 or $60,000 a year, and then equipment purchases, but their council was much more willing to take on a plan of 5 years of equipment replacement, because honestly, I see their equipment in the same spot as where Hayward's was. That's rough. I
Hmm.
mean, he really does need all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I think you're right. I just think we need to have our plan in place before we come to you folks. So.
And were you insinuating that swapping equipment is something that's more of an opportunity as well, or?
I think on the short term,
Okay,
yeah, just a very short.
Worst case scenario.
Yeah.
I believe, was it the Ellen Endy tournament? That was a huge one.
Yeah.
And when this all came about, and it was like, what can we do
Yeah.
to fix this? And
Yeah.
then on the, they had requested a crest mower. And Jason and I just kind of came together and just said, no, not at this time, at $15,000.
well, putting an engine on the mower and doing a swap sounds like something that the ag
Yeah.
class should be doing at the high school.
I think that electrical thing's pretty technical with, you know, those Toros and hydraulics and all that, with how those wings work. I think it's pretty technical, but.
Oh,
No,
it's not a gas engine.
Well, the electrical components on that, yeah. Yeah, the one is a gas
Okay,
diesel.
the Crest robot.
Yeah.
It looks snazzy.
Does anyone have any comments on that, or are you all in agreement that that is a good way to go for 26?
Yeah, I like the fact that I think Jason got some ideas on long-term plan, better idea, better feel for, because we've talked about multiple lines on multiple different components of this budget where we've got vehicles and, because it feels like from our perspective, the last 3 or 4 years, everybody's getting a new truck or or they're planning on. So it's this sort of constant cycle. At one point in time, the police department needed a new building, they needed staff, they needed equipment. And it was, now they've got all 3 of those, so,
Now it's maintained.
yeah, yes, and so. And pre-plan so that whenever, because they use their vehicles a lot. When they get in that window, we should be, ahead of that rather than behind it, so.
Well, I think there's a point in time in there when you talk about replacement value and what you're getting in trade-in, say a loader, for example. It may not be to the end of life, but your replacement value may be at the point in time where it makes sense to do that switch. So that's the stuff that hopefully we can get a better grasp on and be a little more strategic about.
Okay, moving on to the clubhouse expense of the golf course. If you go all the way down to code 43200, building and improvements. Last year, or in 25, we had the patio. This year, he would like to repair the cart shed. I think the storm kind of did a number on the siding on the cart shed, so he would like to fix that and budgeted $20,000.
Not covered by insurance.
No, that was our old insurance when there was a $25,000 deductible
Yeah, okay.
For building.
for building. Yeah. Otherwise his, so, the expense on the beer and wine and liquor, turn around and it's the revenue side. So those are kind of a wash. I see he has increases on those.
We need to have some discussions with Ben too about bringing somebody else on, probably as a manager, an assistant manager of some sort. We've started those discussions, but probably need to get more serious about them. To utilize the golf course to its fullest extent, especially now with the new patio and it's too many. I think there's still too many missed opportunities where you're tournaments on a Saturday where there's basketball and people can walk over to the golf course rather than try and find somebody else to eat or someplace else to eat, and there's nobody at the golf course. And so
Coincide with the school events.
yeah, well, the
Also,
football field, yeah, football games. Yep.
also, it was brought to my attention that maybe he's not working as much as he perceives to work. And like, now that the golf course isn't busy, should we be paying the part-timers to sit out there, or should he be using his time out there? It was brought to my attention to be
Those are,
reviewed. I don't know.
yeah, those have been brought up for years, and I don't know. People looking in from the outside aren't seeing the full picture. So I don't know if I buy that. But definitely need to talk about staffing. Probably better. So I don't know if those salaries are high enough if we were to bring somebody else in as an assistant manager.
Someone other than Janine Floor.
Well, Janine's not. But is she considered an assistant manager?
Yeah. Because we have her at a higher rate.
Right,
You almost need like a
And
coordinator or something.
She fills in when Ben's gone
right.
as the,
Are you thinking like more of an event coordinator?
I don't know, there's different discussions around that, and probably not the best time or place to be discussing that. But, yeah. again, another discussion we need to have probably before we finalize this.
So then moving on to the clubhouse revenue. Um,
Can a question, the bridges outside maintenance revenue. What constitutes that?
it's where are we on
It's
the,
back on page 25.
so I don't have the page numbers, is
Oh.
we go,
Bridges outside maintenance.
What's the number?
or
It
to,
doesn't have a number. It's at the bottom.
With your breakdown of revenue and difference.
Yeah. All the way down there
oh,
at the
right,
bottom,
wait,
Keep going now.
all the way at the bottom of the page. Right down to see total revenue and difference.
mhm.
What constitutes the revenue?
It would be the clubhouse.
Oh, okay.
The event center has its own revenue and expense, but the outside course and the clubhouse expenses, and then the revenue from the inside the clubhouse.
Okay, but this is, bridges
Oh.
outside maintenance
Yeah,
at the bottom of that page where you were at. What constitutes that revenue line?
Everything together.
the clubhouse revenue.
Okay.
Yep.
So liquor sales, everything.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's on,
So then if we go to the event center,
well, what confused me is,
She doesn't have that listed on here, Larry.
yeah, well, see, I'm back on page 25.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
And it's, the top of the page says bridges outside maintenance, but at the bottom where it says that's starting a new category,
She's incorporating the outside and
the
the
expense of the
clubhouse
inside of the clubhouse.
okay,
on that.
Yeah, on that sheet,
so by outside, you mean green, you don't,
the course itself, Jason's golf. And the
yeah,
golf course,
green fees for the golf course,
everything,
okay. Cause that's listed under clubhouse later.
Correct.
mhm,
Your thought process is correct. There's only revenue through the
the
clubhouse.
clubhouse,
Okay,
yep. All of the revenue for the outside course and the clubhouse runs through the clubhouse.
okay, it seems to be, why is it in this position?
I think you just put it there because that was the first page of the conversation about the golf course.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
so that
Yeah, it-
line starts the
Yeah.
that's on the next page.
great, yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
So you're adding.
It's
the
just like a
page
summary of-
32 and 28 together?
It just happened to be on the outside
Yes.
course.
It's
page.
just okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
So is that number right though? Cause I'm just,
I noticed it was the exact same.
exact same
It might have
last
been-
year.
Yeah,
I
look,
just added them up and it's 119,000 difference.
yeah, it's not.
Maybe another way to say that is expenditures are broken down by clubhouse and outside. Revenue is all ran through.
No, I understand that. It's just that.
It just happened to be on that
The page,
page.
it
Yeah.
appears to be associated with outside.
Yeah,
Because of the page. That's
Yeah.
where I was confused.
yeah, that's just the first page at the start of the golf course.
So what's the new number?
$454,100 to the negative.
151.
$454,100. So moving on to the clubhouse revenue. It appears he believes that the daily gas and fuel carts will increase. The season passes will increase. The green fees.
We'll skip.
do see is bar food is
Almost
way down.
Yeah,
I'm gonna highlight that.
yeah, because as we want to draw more people there,
Yeah.
we would hope that that goes up.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Maybe there's supposed to be a 1 in front of that, 49. If you see the code 3689, that is when people submit if, like a gift card has been purchased and then they turn around and use the gift card.
What was that again, Elaine?
Line,
On
Through
six,
six-
689?
yeah.
The red.
Yep, that's the
Right.
red, because, they are turning in their gift card.
Oh, okay.
I have a question on that. So does it screw it up for these kind of purposes, budgeting and all that stuff? I've just noticed, we'll just say there, I wasn't part of it, but we'll just say there was that 8-inch cup tournament here late September. Every gift certificate, doesn't matter like when you purchase it, could have bought it February. It has an expiration of October or whatever it is. I mean, it's. So,
Mhm.
you know, like he'll give that out as a prize for the end of September
You have to use it right now.
and you have to use it right now. Like, is that because of like these budget purposes and everything?
Yeah.
Cause I just. I don't like that.
Yeah, I think he just wants to, if you're gonna buy them, get them turned back in, turned around and then
Same
finish up.
budget cycle.
yeah.
Yeah, the budget cycle.
Sure.
My guess is if you still used them in November, or December, maybe in the food, that he would honor them. I would hope he would do that, because it's the same budget year,
I
but
mean, I didn't have it, but I've just had people, you know,
just to get it cleared up in the same.
yeah,
budget
instead
year.
of like 1 year
Yeah.
date of issuance or
Yeah.
whatever, you know, like.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter, like, you could have, depending on when you bought it, or
Mhm.
got it, or whatever, so, yeah.
yeah, and if you wanted to use it in the, for the merchandise, that's usually depleted by the end of the season of,
Yeah, it's making money, huh?
yeah.
Yeah.
Or if you don't turn it in at all, then it's a
Well,
donation.
Apparently that's what's happening here.
Yeah, no. Okay, the expense for the event center. I think he just left the machinery and vehicles open. We can get that filled out. And
Is he looking at purchasing new ovens or what's that plan? Do they know that they're in disrepair? Where would that be covered?
that would be underneath. I'm thinking that would probably be the clubhouse, underneath furniture and office equipment, but he reduced that down to 2,500, and then buildings and improvements.
Yeah, I mean,
He has the cart shed repair on there, so I don't see ovens anywhere.
Are we planning on getting new ovens right now?
He has not expressed that, no.
That's a big difference.
I think that's a good question for him, though, because what we've been told, they're not functioning.
No, right, Thanksgiving community thing, it was an issue.
Mm-hmm.
And
So I'm
they're
gonna-
planning on using it again this year, so.
Those fires, commercial grade ovens.
And they've been in there since the building was put up in 2022 or something like that.
Your golf course committee, or is that part of the Parks and Rec?
It'd be Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec.
We are an all-encompassing.
So for the event center expenses, I mean, there's very little. It's actually decreased from 2025's budget.
What were we saying? I'm sorry,
Line
Elaine.
number 1.
Just looking at the 25 budget to the 26. I mean, it's a very little change. The event center expenses, but I do have it noted that we'll ask them about the conditions of the ovens and report back. Moving on to the event center revenue.
Yeah.
I don't believe he has brought in any revenue in 25 for catering, and so hence the 0 in 26. Increasing the, decreasing the wine, decreasing the liquor, and same on beer.
Are we just not seeing events? They scheduled or what's he based that on?
Probably what is trending right now.
Okay.
I do think, we'll probably pull Ben into the office and revisit a little bit more on his budget.
I'm still a little bit confused on the total revenue. If that's just the revenue from the clubhouse that's on the spreadsheet, right?
Right, the event center had its own,
So in here we have a total revenue of 727,
did it not fold the
but
right?
you go to the revenue sheet and it's 656.
Okay. There you go.
And again, the expenses should be the expenses from the exterior and the expenses from the clubhouse. And I'll go to 275 plus 273. 450. Yep. 80. Missed something there.
So it's, if you take the. So right here, that 775, I took the expense of the golf course and the expense of the clubhouse and added those two together. And then the revenue from the clubhouse, 656.3. And then the difference is 119 to the positive. And my formula, right?
Yeah, cause that's what I was getting.
Yeah.
Okay, what page? Okay, this one.
So it's,
So it is
it's still,
that
it's
positive.
negative, we're negative 119,000,
Right.
but
Mhm.
it's better than negative 450,000.
It's still a big swing. Sorry, what were you saying?
Oh, it's negative.
Yep,
Oh, yeah, here.
you gotta subtract one from,
Yeah.
yeah, just switch those two.
There we go.
Yeah. That's what I was.
I'm tired.
Leave it to the,
I'm really tired.
It looks a lot better that way. The golf course isn't losing quite as much money.
So is that because of the patio and stuff last year? Lane?
Yeah. And the part half of the shop.
Oh, yeah.
Two huge projects in 1 year. But,
As part of the conversation with Ben, perhaps one of the things to talk about too is the event center, and
what we can do to promote it a little bit more.
I mean, maybe that's where another staff member helps to, I mean, Alcester is a good example lately of trying to promote the use of Morningside Center. There are quite a few different events they had going on in there. Now, otherwise, other financial aspects of Alcester, we don't want to emulate, but
Well, and they did just put this one out here, but it only holds 60 people, right?
which one, the
So,
down by Carrie's?
yeah, the one that just went in there,
Yeah, I don't, is it even open?
November
Hmm.
1st, they're having an open house.
Is that, Ryan and Rachel Tiedemann? that
I
are
believe
doing
so.
that?
oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's your relative.
That is.
What are they doing?
Yeah.
Report.
I know nothing about it,
I was gonna say, do you know if there's a kitchen in there?
I think it's when the Boy Scouts was there, it was a
Dinette.
kitchenette.
Yeah,
It had like microwave and a sink and a bridge, but maybe it's changed.
No, it looks like
You're not
that.
talking about the old youth center, you're talking about the whole thing that goes,
No,
No, the old news center.
Yeah,
okay.
It looks like they've made it look nice.
Yeah.
One more option for people to come to our community. So, the general fund, I will make those changes. Bring that to Monday's meeting. With hopefully the first reading, The enterprise, maybe we'll. Look at it again, maybe two of the departments, just look at them a little bit closer. Cause we have time on that yet, but it's the general fund that, we're on a time crunch.
so you won't have the first reading.
We'll have the first reading on Monday for the general fund, the enterprise. Enterprise counts, we have time. As long as we don't tweak the transfers to the general fund.
Good job.
I mean, how do you feel about it? Do you feel?
I put a lot of time into the general fund and not as much into the enterprise, just because I knew that was.
Okay.
But going through it now, line by line, I can see some things that could be. Either figure out why. Or look into it a little bit more of, if they're looking to purchase something that I'm unaware of, or.
very few major ticket items, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, on the outside, this is my first perspective of it. I think it's honestly a pretty streamlined event. I mean, if you look at where your changes are, it's your salaries and benefits. There's not a lot of major things there.
And health insurance.
Yeah. benefits.
Just a quick. I had a conversation with James Heron from Teamsters. And I shared the message from the Teamsters insurance guy with James. He did not like that answer that we got from them. So James is working,
You mean
For-
IEW?
no,
Okay, so.
okay, so Teamsters also has insurance.
Right, yes.
I had reached out to him and it was the same scenario as IEBEW, that you had to have, more members than non-members.
Okay.
So when I reached out to Teamsters, the health insurance director gentleman said it's the same scenario. You need to have more Teamsters than none. They just changed their policy. I reached out to James and said, we're in the same boat as IBEW. He did not like that answer, and so he's advocating for us and meeting with this gentleman. So I just had to send him a message saying that we're looking at a 10% health insurance increase, and they may be able to go retroactive on the policy that they just put into place and consider us.
No,
We should know tomorrow.
or just the police department or the whole
Everybody.
city? And that would cover you guys?
I don't know.
Okay. And same as IEW rates, better?
They're
less?
Wellmark Blue Cross Blue Shield, and I think it's similar to IBEW.
Same.
Is there a rule on salaried or hourly that excludes you, or administrative or working supervisor, or?
What we have found in the past is that you could only like a certain percentage. So you had to have more union members than supervisors, and we on the IBW, we had too many supervisors. So then Freeburg was looking into the changing them to working supervisors, but
Yeah.
I don't know where he's at with that. And
He was in favor of that.
yeah, so then the police department reached out to James Heron, and he didn't like the answer I was getting back, and so he said he would take it to further for us and see what he could do.
Cool.
And with him being here on Monday, maybe he'll be able to give you guys more information.
That's good in the way of options.
Or to at least look at another option.
Mhm.
The only thing that's we have it budgeted in here already for the 10% increase, but
I don't think it would be too hard to pull some of that back with us.
well, the general fund, we need to have the first reading on.
Right, yeah. Well, if we had to have a special meeting if something happened, we can make that happen.
That is all I have. Hopefully I can talk to.
Appreciate the line for the difference. That
Yeah.
really,
Yeah, it was nice.
I'll do that on the enterprise side too.
It makes it easy to just go through and
Good
see.
job, Jason.
If the
You don't
native
have to do the math.
changes.
Huge contribution.
That's all I did.
it depending on how you flag. You know, we talked at that one point about, well, this budget is actually $200,000 less. But there were one-time or special projects taken out, so there was an increase. I'm not sure if there's a way to, or if it's worthwhile trying to track what would be ongoing expenses and how they increase or decrease as opposed to one-time or for
Mhm.
short-term projects.
Probably in the last 3 years, I've have flagged, just a couple of, you see the little red,
Yeah.
corner of just what made that number jump up or decrease or.
Yeah.
I hope for future conversation, future years, to give you guys a narrative to go with that. I mean, what Elaine just did with you,
Yeah,
I hope that I can give you guys some of that information ahead of time. So,
It was a lot
yeah.
for you just
Yeah, there's
starting,
no- I'm sorry.
a month
There's
ago
no-
to be like, hey, here's the
I
budget.
don't know the budget at all, so.
Yeah.
You mean we get to be here longer?
No, I mean, quicker.
Oh, gotcha.
No.
Get the narrative before.
Yeah.
it'll be an audiobook.
Yeah.
Download it like.
I gotta go get a lot
On the Libby app.
Have you narrate it.
Silky smooth voice,
What's that?
silky smooth voice.
Hey, he's working for a living.
All right, any further business for the council?
I do wanna, I wanna echo it again, I sent them the email, but, I think you guys need to understand how much Elaine. She puts her soul in, it. Like, literally, she was agonizing over some stuff, so.
Well, yeah, but she's also the one that goes through the audits and,
Yeah.
so she knows.
I have to answer to the auditors.
She knows where all the
Well,
bodies
you
are
have,
in.
you have a great first one.
That's why we need to get you a new locker that says footy.
And Jerry came back and helped us a couple of
Yeah,
days.
yep, he came
All
back.
types, pieces, so if you see him around,
Good.
he deserves some thanks too.
On Tuesday night, I sent him a frantic text message because I had the budget to a certain point, and then in past years, I've handed it to him and then he's finished it. And so Tuesday night, I don't even think I could talk that afternoon. I'm just like, oh, what am I doing? What am I doing? And then, he came in Wednesday morning. Yeah.
Monday.
I think Jerry's like in the consultation side of it, where he can be like, you need to go do this, and he gets to leave.
I gotta go. Bye.
Yeah, he's getting a phone call. I gotta go. Like, okay.
All right, any further business? All right, being adjourned.
Your guys' time tonight, yeah, a lot of commitment.
Hey, we got an extra $100.